right, cool, guys. We're back. We got another special guest. We're being fortunate enough to get more guests on our podcast, and we have the lovely Pamela. Is it Pam or Pam? What do you like to get it?
Pamela?
Pan? Is it Pan? Is it Pam? Or?
I heard a pan in there. Pamela. That's what I heard.
Pamela, yes. It's a difficult name. It's a difficult name.
2 M's, right? Okay, cool. Yeah, awesome. We have Pamela. Quick story rundown. I just came across her Instagram and I was like, hey, she talks about soccer. And I was like, why not? That's how we kind of go about reaching out to people. We're fortunate enough to have actual pro footballers. And also I found out when I was looking through your Instagram, you have your own podcast as well.
I do.
Yeah. So just, real quick, give us a quick rundown of who you are and we'll just go from there.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, my name is Pamela, also known as Pam Bam Going Ham on all my social media platforms. I started my own podcast. I've been very fortunate enough to have someone reach out to me and they said, hey, we'd love to have you, start your own podcast in sports. And I was like, great, soccer. I grew up playing soccer. I'm South American. So in my household, you don't really know of any other sport other than soccer. My family is straight from South America. I'm first generation. So I didn't know about baseball. I learned about football, basketball through friends, but soccer is what we really lived and breathed in my home. So as I became an adult, I started following MLS actually over any other league. I think the beauty of being able to go to a game in person really captivated my attention. I still represent for Messi. I see Ronaldo jersey right there, but I am Argentinian. So I rock for Messi through and through.
So you know what this is?
I saw your mate. I did see your mate. I was like, oh, I see that mate.
I kind of like her a little bit, but the Messi thing we'll get to. We'll get to that. Go ahead.
So I decided to start a soccer podcast. It's called Pam on the Pitch. It streams on all platforms, and you can watch it live. I actually do live viewings of it every Wednesdays on a platform called Bullhorn. Right. So I bring on players, I bring on people that work throughout the soccer league because my main focus and goal of my entire podcast is to continue to grow the sport of soccer in the United States. It's been a sport that came late to the game. People don't respect it near as much. I hear I can't watch a sport that has a tie. I've heard it all. I'm over it. Soccer needs to get a lot more respect. And I think it's about damn time that it's getting the recognition that it's getting. We're in the World Cup and we have the youngest team in the World Cup. And I think that speaks volumes of where American soccer is.
It does. And I'm glad that you said that because we're similar to our podcast. And it's sorry that we kind of didn't introduce ourselves off the bat. I'm Oscar. This is Mikey. So the podcast name is the Mikey and Oscar Top Podcast.
Love that.
So again, for us, it's the same thing. We started the podcast basically because of the pandemic. We did it ourselves. Everything's through us. We want to be informational. We want to be at the same time just giving the information and what's out there for this beautiful game from just what you see on TV to also actually from our end, because my brother, he's a coach. And
nice.
He coaches the youth, high school, even to the college level. So we want to also bring that aspect and that information to those people who don't know exactly the ins and outs. So we also want to be as much informational as possible, and as well get everyone's perspective from soccer because everyone does have a different perspective and different feel for it. So that's a little bit of our introduction to you. And I know, like I said, I have watched you live a couple of times, which
I love that.
On the Bullhorn, I've seen it. So like I said, I'm actually here's the thing. When you have a link, I'm gonna click it. I'm not like other people who are like, hey, where's your podcast? It's on the link. Click the link. Like, come on.
I literally
people.
post it everywhere. You should be able to find it.
There you go. So it's like I don't even have to I'm the type where she gave it to me. It's right there. Yeah. Click the button. That's it. I've watched a few of your episodes. I enjoy it. Obviously, it's a lot different from how we do it. Again, we're just conversating. We think ourselves as like a Joe Rogan of soccer somehow. In that sense, we just want to have the conversation and keep talking about it. And that's where we're at. And we're fortunate enough to have guests. And we're excited to have you on because just from the small talk that we had through text, I'm even more excited that now I know you're from Argentina. Now that I know there's going to be more conversation directly to that, because I'm like a walking contradiction in some ways. So
Massive.
I was going to say
Massively.
drinking mate, but representing a Ronaldo jersey doesn't really go hand in
there
hand.
you go. But here's the thing, you know Ronaldo's wife is Argentinian, right?
He likes Argentina?
Sorry, his wife. She's from
His
Argentina.
wife?
Yeah. Did you know that?
No, but I like him now. Respect to the Argentinians.
But here's the thing. Have you seen his wife though? Have you seen his wife or his girlfriend?
I have seen his wife, yes.
I'm sure when you get a chance, she has a Netflix special, and you'll see everything about her.
I've heard about that special.
You would enjoy it. Just watch it. He comes out in it. It's a good side of them. Obviously through Netflix, so it's a little showy type, a little, but yeah, that's how I feel like he has a girlfriend. So he's also drank mate before, and he's kind of the reason why I drink it.
Oh, stop it.
I love that.
But we'll get
I will definitely check it out.
Yeah, you should. We'll get to that. But yeah, let's move along. Let's go with I know you have a passion for the MLS.
I do. And I want to know, do you guys follow MLS? Because based on the jerseys behind you, I see more of the English Premier League.
See, here's the thing. I love that you're asking. I just love that you're interested. And this is why I'm glad that you're on. So we grew up when it first came out in 96. We literally grew up with that sport, that soccer profession when we were like, I was 10, 11, 12.
I was about
8,
6, 7.
Right? So we're like 3.5 years apart. So we grew up with the first team of Galaxy playing in the Rose Bowl when it was like, what, 12,000 people maybe, if that. Right?
Yeah.
Then when Jorge Campos was on the team?
Yes. See, I already like her. She already that was our guy. I had we had his jerseys from head to toe.
Yeah. I loved Jorge Campos.
Yeah. You know what I mean? And that was the reason. So here's specific. I'm glad you're asking the question. So some of our viewers know that we kind of like, we don't want to get repetitive, but yes, you notice that the jersey's in the back. The key is that was the only profession of soccer that we saw live. Obviously, we didn't know that at that time in the sport, it was like literally barely there. It was barely there. But
I think there was like 7 teams in the league when it first started.
Something like that, right?
Yeah,
roughly. But before then, we were already with Liga MX at the time, and we were already watching European soccer. So we grew up ahead of MLS in the sense of like who we knew, like from Jorge Campos to who was it back then? David
Kobe Jones,
Mauricio Cienfuegos.
Right, all the guys, and then the rest of the world from who was there? Cafu, Romario. Yeah. So we were just like entwined with soccer because we grew up playing nothing but soccer in our family. Same like you said, that was our household sport growing up. So in my strong opinion, we have, at least for me, my brother will tell you his in a bit. I have like a love-hate relationship with the MLS because on the love side, and one part of it, our youngest brother could possibly play there one day. Like he's on the path right now. He's going through his college phase. He just got accepted, or he got an offer to a D2 school in Fresno. So like he could possibly play there. So I can't necessarily say I hate the MLS. It's just we have a different view because of our view in the rest of the world of soccer,
which I totally understand. I do. And I think for a long time that was valid. MLS in 97 is nowhere near at the playing level that the guys are playing at now. The fact that Walker Zimmerman is going to end his MLS career playing in MLS the entire time, but has played in how many World Cups now? And has also been asked to play overseas. Like we are getting players now homegrown in MLS that is now at a level that could play overseas. Half the men's World Cup team right now is half European players. We have Christian Pulisic, who is literally Captain America playing for Chelsea. So I think what you're saying is right. I think for a very long time, I was born in the 90s. So for a long time, MLS wasn't really at a good high level play. It just wasn't. And it took David Beckham to put us on the map, to be fair. And I think since then it's grown the sport more and more and more. I'm not talking about like within the United States, but just like overseas. Now European players and Europe knew what MLS was because of Galaxy, because Beckham came here. And I think since then it's allowed the game to grow. So I hope that you guys give it more of a chance because it really has changed. I mean, we're getting players like Chicharito, Vela. We're getting Zlatan.
I don't want to make you feel like we're not giving a chance, because we also had an MLS player on our podcast, and he's
probably listening to this like, excuse me.
Oh, actually,
put some respect on my name.
We told him. We told him
said it again, like we've gotten his opinion out of it. So just real quick, it's not, we're not disrespecting in any way. It's just we've seen it throughout the years and what it's grown and what it's becoming, and there's a lot to it, because like even now, like how you're saying, Zlatan, Chicharito, Vela, I think people forget the ones that were there even prior to them, like Pibe, Valderrama, Echeverri, Cienfuegos, Luis Hernandez.
Cienfuegos was so good, yeah.
There was a lot of international players prior to that, but I think obviously then social media was obviously not a thing. And today, now with social media, it's like the moment there's something bad that goes within MLS, it like just spreads like wildfire. And I think when David Beckham came in, that was something that spread like wildfire, because he was a massive big name during that time. So when that came in, everybody jumped in on MLS. And I don't want to say, I mean, in some way, he probably opened the doors for the outlet of it to be more known, because then you started to get more players. The bad thing that came about it is some people started to say it as, oh, that's the retirement home for the high level players. Yeah. That's what they started to say a lot of, I think.
But they're not wrong.
No, they weren't wrong to a sense, because but the problem there is that David Beckham kind of still went in almost in his prime time. Not like fully there, but he still had enough to keep going. But then we started getting the likes of Robbie Keane, Thierry Henry, Pirlo, David Villa. Those players where they kind of, were at the end stage of their careers, and then they started to come in. Now we're starting to get like Chicharito, Vela, Zlatan came in. A lot of other players that are a little bit well-known that are coming in that can still play at a high level have kind of changed that dynamic a little bit more. And it's gone up and down, but I think right now, lately, it's kind of picked up some momentum. So I don't want to, like I said before, I used to see it as like, man, what am I watching? What is this? And
it's true. When you watch English Premier League or even in the World Cup, like the level that those players play at is very different.
Of course. And there's a lot of variables that go to that. And honestly, I'm thankful for what I am as a coach and what I do, and get to hear and see a little bit more behind the scenes.
Oh, that's right. You're the coach. Yeah. What are your brother and I talking about? You're the one who actually does this for a living. Please disregard everything I just said.
No, it's because I actually, and this is the thing that I've noticed, because I have to do my licensing and all these things, and a lot of this comes from higher ups and in terms of how they want things. And when I was first taking it, it was pretty straightforward and pretty simple for anybody to do this, to the point now where I'm taking it, it's like, wow, there's a lot more parameters and details and things you have to be like on top of just to get there. And it's like, I'm happy that it's that, because it makes it more difficult and more in tune that you have to really be at the highest level in order to be able to perform in that field. And prior to it, like almost anybody could have gotten it. Anybody, down the street can go and get a license, and it was, just giving it away like candy. But now it's like, nope, you got to go through all this or else you can't even make it to this one. So I like that it's like that, because now the coaches that we've seen that have been coming in have made that kind of change within that realm in that league. Tito, was the Tito from the coach from Mexico, was here for a little while, or was in MLS for a little while, and had a bit of a dynamic that he brought in, a bit of a taste to it.
He was with Atlanta.
The one right now that's at San Jose Earthquakes was the Chivas coach.
He just got let go.
He did?
He finally did. He was trying to for a hot minute. He was like, let me go. And they're like, no, you're contracted. He was trying to
bring in his thing. Frank De Boer came in. Jap Stam, I think, is one of them. Patrick Vieira was here for a little while. Henry did a little bit as well. I think, I don't know if he left. That's right. He did. But there's quality coaches now kind of coming in and now building that dynamic of what it kind of, I don't want to say should be, but at least making it more entertaining and competitive enough that these players can now, I'm seeing more players now at the youth side kind of get picked up by like Bayern Munich, Dortmund, Frankfurt, Chelsea, Liverpool, all these teams now.
Arsenal, I think like Matt Turner just got sent off to Arsenal.
I think so. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying, is that we're seeing more of that now, where prior to it was like, how did this kid get there?
I don't want to lose my thought. And I think I don't want to lose my thought on that, but I think it's because I want to say 5 years ago, when everyone was like, oh, MLS should be this or MLS should be that. I think a lot of also, even I think we said it, like, it should be kind of well-rounded how the rest of the world is. And basically what happened, what you just said, is all those coaches came over here and kind of really just did that. Said, hey, as much as you guys want to be the way you guys want to be, we kind of have to implement the way things have been done for 100 years around the world.
Yeah.
So we can pick the Pulisic, so we can get the other players just like him and bring them overseas. Yeah. But the way you guys did it, because I want to ask you the specific question, and it's always a question of mine. Is that how do you feel about like the system in the US? Because I asked even pro players, I even asked the last guy, Ezekiel Bailey. Even when my youngest brother's going through, there's different levels of getting to the MLS, and I feel it's starting to be somewhat like baseball, like where there's AAA, AA.
Oh yeah,
because we also had Danny Trejo from LAFC on, and the one thing that we didn't like was that they made a big deal about his draft, and he did not play one game for LAFC, and we were so like, wait, dude, what happened? I text him like, dude, where you at? He's like, oh, I'm at Vegas. I'm like, oh, so he's like, yeah, it's like the other second team for or the reserve team for LAFC.
It's like the filler team.
Yeah. So I'm like, wait, so what was the whole point of this whole draft? And then at the same time, the guy from Fullerton, same thing at Chicago. They sent him off and he found a place at Chivas with the reserve team in Mexico. So the whole thing of like, hey, MLS, what are you guys doing? Like, I know you guys are trying to attract and put a show like football and having MLS, but when football does it, they go directly and get free agents. There's no clubs. Like there's like USFL is barely coming up. XFL might come back, but like for soccer, there's so different realms. So my question is like, how do you feel about that system of like college players trying their best to get to the draft or get signed, but knowing that there's like multiple leagues popping up out of nowhere now that are professions, like compared to like what we've again are used to Europe. You start them from 12 years old, 10 years old, like until they get to the level, we're going to sign you. But that's what they're breeding.
Yeah, that's actually a really great question. I like the idea of having I guess like a minor league team. I forgot what it's called. Los Dos is the one for Galaxy. It's like their farm team for their major league team.
Yeah.
I like the idea of it solely because I think the systems that are implemented in Europe are very different than what we offer here. For example, we have academies now, right? Soccer academies are very popular. Club teams are becoming, they're everywhere now, but they're also very expensive. And I think in Europe, because everything is soccer, they live and breathe it there. I think there's more opportunity to get that high level of training without having to spend thousands of dollars. I think there's more scholarship offers. I think that they start them at a younger age on scholarship to be at academy levels at like 10 years old. And here, really, you don't get that opportunity until you're 15 and your parents already spent $10,000, if not more. So I think like Major League Soccer having a team for college guys to at least get into is valuable. And they don't get paid a lot. I know that. But I guarantee you, if they were to say, like, I would rather be doing this than being told no right off the bat, they still get a chance to get playing time to prove themselves. And a lot of times, LA Galaxy or Atlanta United, LAFC, if these guys really take it serious, those teams are always looking at the lower team. They're always looking, because guess what? One guy gets injured, they're going to be like, okay, who can we pull up before we have to trade for someone?
Right. Yeah. And they just started that MLS Pro Next, I think. It's called Pro Next.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it used to be USL champions, I think, and then
academy, right?
like USL 1. So that was their minor leagues. So they changed it now to MLS. I think the only team that's not in there is LAFC's right now, because I want to say they're the only ones that are not in there for some reason.
Interesting. I wonder why.
I noticed it. They started it, I want to say a month ago, and they only put in, I think, out of all the teams, I think only like 25 or 24 of them are in it, as opposed to the ones.
I remember talking.
And I noticed, I don't know if Galaxy's in it. I don't think Galaxy and LAFC's, for some reason, I think they're the only two that may not be in it.
But Galaxy has Los Dos. I thought they were the USL. They have Los
Dos, but I think they're in USL. So that's now.
Oh yeah, they are USL.
Yeah, so that's below MLS Next Pro, which is the new league that they formed, which is for all the basically.
That's right.
That's for basically all the second teams now of all the pro teams. So I don't know why Galaxy, those didn't do it, and I don't know why LFC didn't do it, but I'm sure they're gonna eventually go into. I think it's just they're trying it out this year because it's something brand new, and I'm sure they're gonna eventually delve into it also, because everyone else did it. I think there's only one team that's in there that doesn't have a pro team, I want to say it's I think it's Oklahoma Energy, or I think it's there's another one. There's another team that's in there. They were in the USL, but I've noticed that I was like, man, that's the only team that doesn't have a pro team that's in this. And I was like, why isn't Galaxy in this? Why isn't LAFC in this? I haven't really done the research on it, but I just know that's something brand new that they're going to try to implement. And I think that's part of them really kind of allowing that development per se within the MLS teams, as well as having those minor leagues just below it. So that way they could probably develop and still probably have that opportunity to get built up, because I think before it was them kind of playing some like Phoenix Rising, the Louisville teams, and some other teams that were lower ends. So it kind of gives them, like, I think, a better outlet now in terms of a pathway, as opposed to being like, oh, I saw there was teams in the USL, but I think the competition just wasn't matching up. And I think now a lot of these MLS teams finally have their second academies that are legitimately the second team. Whereas before it was like, well, we're fillers with the night, Las Vegas Knights. We don't have a second, there's no LAFC 2 as far as I
yeah, there isn't.
So I think Las Vegas Knights is that team right now. So I think once they eventually get a LAFC second team, then I'm pretty sure then they'll probably put them into that MLS next pro thing.
Yeah. Well, again, it seems and it feels like baseball, like AAA.
Yeah.
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 I mean, hockey has it too. Hockey has NHL, ACHL, or AHL, and then ECHL. So they have 3 leagues.
Yeah. And then again, the reason why I am saying it in like the way I see MLS, it's like, I want MLS to be great. I want it to be great, again, for the sake of also my youngest brother. Like I that's a dream for him to go, and we'll be so amazed and happy and proud of him if he gets to that point. But I also know that there's other leagues that he can play pro in. But the thing is, what I'm trying to, like, I ask other guests, I even asked other footballers. Again, we only had 2 male footballers on, right, in our podcast, Zico and Danny. And we noticed, and I'll get to this other side too, because I'm sensing that you're more in like the men's side of soccer.
Yes.
Okay, so we'll get to the women's, because we had a lot of women's footballers on so far. So the men's side, again, I kind of don't want to sound redundant, but what I'm going to try to ask you is, like, maybe you've never thought of or how you can answer this, but I think the way it's implemented, again, it's great that we have soccer here no matter what, and it's building and it's growing. Great. But I also still believe the certain system that is growing rapidly that way, I'm not discrediting it or saying it's horrible, but I'm saying it's like, I think it should be allowed similar and more pressed on the way Europe is, because we're all humans. We're all humans at the end of the day. What we're surrounded by, what we consume, is what's literally in our region. I learned that a long time ago from like, I landed in St. Louis and all you see is St. Louis Cardinals. Obviously, because you're in St. Louis, they're not going to sell Dodger stuff here. Okay, so that's going to automatically make me feel like I'm in St. Louis. Same in Europe. When I went to Europe, I went to France and London. Like, a lot of people knew football over there. The women, I was like more impressed. I said this in the last podcast. I was impressed to talk to someone that was similar to you, but in the Europe, I was like, oh my God, like these girls like really know football. They like know more than I do, in a sense. Like, I didn't think, like, I just didn't know that was going to come out of their mouth, not in a disrespectful way, more like, wow, I just want to stay here and talk to you, So what I'm trying to say is that I really wish in my perfect world, I kind of wish that the US soccer system was literally very similar to the European, because I'm gonna be honest with you. And it's funny because I just kind of noticed this. A lot of people that had gone into the entertainment, even from rappers to basketball players like J.R. Smith, he went back to college. He finished college, or he's doing college. So what I'm saying is that I don't think we need to implement college to these kids right away, or high school. If I see a kid at 10 or 8 years old, I would love for that person to be here in his hometown and be like, you know what, dude, we're going to give you a pro contract right now. We're going to breed you because we see you can be the next American Messi, the next Cristiano American. Like, you know what I mean? But we don't have that here. And I'm not sure if we ever will, because we have so many options in our country that it's like, I did soccer for 8 years. I'm going to go be the doctor that I was. Oh, okay. But you could have been Messi. Yeah, but I want to go. Oh, okay. But in the other world, that kid in Europe is like, no, I want to be the next Messi because I'm no, that's my thing. We don't have American football.
No. And
You
you
get
know
what I'm
what I
saying?
think
Do you
that
get what I'm
stems
saying,
from though? What?
Sorry, do you get what I'm saying though? Like what I'm trying to like, okay, go
Oh, I
ahead.
totally know what you're saying. And I agree. I think that comes from the fact that soccer just doesn't have as much money as other sports. You go to Europe and I think there's just
Which I
I
disagree
mean, aren't
on,
they
but
like
go
the
ahead.
number one sport in like the world? I think they have like the most, I think the English Premier League has like the most expensive games like around the world. So I think there's just more money that can be invested there. And soccer here, I mean, there was a point where Major League Soccer, I think a signing contract was 30,000.
Yes.
Then it was 60,000. That was a huge deal. I think right now the minimum's 80. If that, it might even still be 60.
Yeah.
You know, so I think it's going to take years. I don't know if we'll be around in our lifetime to see it, to be honest. It's going to take a long time because money talks. And there's not enough money in Major League Soccer. And I don't know when we'll see it. I think we're starting to see it with the contracts that are coming in. But you have to think like baseball, NFL, across the board, those guys are making hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars.
But why is that? Do you know why that is?
Yeah, because it's way more popular. More
Not
games sell out.
That no, but I mean, it's just my theory and the way I think. I guess it's that it's literally they own a Sunday and they own that sport. No other country has that sport at that level. Like you can't say, hey, who was Patrick? Are you gonna play this summer in the X tournament in Europe? What are you talking about? It's only played here. Why are we calling you world champions? It's only played here. Do you get what I'm saying?
No, I do.
Like a certain sport is literally, again, I get deeper with it and I don't want to like drift off too much. I want to keep it with soccer, but I think of it as driven as certain things in some type of like view of capitalism and whatnot and what is implemented in the States, you know, like we were in the US was in the World Cup semifinals in 1930, right?
Yeah.
Was that?
Oh, the final.
Was it the final?
I think it was the final.
I think it was finals.
Was it
I think that was like one
the
of the
first,
best
second
ones.
World Cup.
Yeah, that was the one they lost against, I think, England.
The second World Cup or the first World
I
Cup?
think it was the first.
Like to know that and not capitalize on it should tell you something's going on.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Like again, when you're saying like I'm not totally disagreeing, is like they all have money over there. It's like no. I think I truly, and I'm gonna get to it a little bit. I truly believe in the States. Things are certainly pushed on you, like I said earlier. Like you land in Seattle and St. Louis, you see that. Me growing up, I played soccer all my life until high school coaches was like, "Hey, you know what? You're pretty fast. Come play football." And I'm like, "Wait, what? Yeah, come play football. Like you're good." So I tried it, and the difference was, at that time I was what? This was like in 2003, 2004, maybe earlier than that. Soccer then were like my friends were like, soccer, like why am I gonna go watch you? So my thought, if you remember what I was trying to say, was that again, as a young player and what I feel the dynamic of what I was getting to, the system of the US soccer, again, we are put on this some type of show in front of us that I have different thoughts on the way things work. So what I was trying to get at is that, like I said, I played soccer all my life and then got into it in high school where there was football coaches saying, you're good at this, you're good at that, play football. And the reason why I brought that up is because at that time, around 2001, 2004 was my high school years. Soccer wasn't as big. Soccer was still soccer to me. Me and him, we love soccer, but around us, it was just like, that's a commie sport. That's all I heard. And I was like, when I played football, I got all the glory. I got out of class early. I got the cheerleader. I got all the benefits that the sport got that soccer wasn't giving me. And I'm so happy that it didn't cross over to my youngest brother. They tried to put him on the football team as a kicker and stuff like that. The reason why I crossed over was that feeling of being wanted as a sportsman, is like, you're good at that sport. And that was the only thing I struggled as a young footballer, soccer player, that I was only getting that from the club level when I was playing. It's like my family was watching. None of my friends watched. Only my friends that were watching were the people that were playing with me at the club level. It's like, I don't have my classmates saying, oh shit, I saw you score. That was dope. No, they saw me score a touchdown. They saw me, you know what I mean? So I guess what I'm trying to get is that in the US system, I think it's going to be very difficult because that story I told you, my brother has seen it from players that he's had. A lot of great players that I've seen him have since he started coaching. I'm like, dude, what happened to so-and-so? Oh, he ended up playing football. Oh, what? What happened to so-and-so?
They take all the kickers.
right? Like, but
They
end up
do.
playing football. Like, here's the thing is that at that time, where I'm getting at, yes, at that time it was nowhere near where the MLS is at right now, where all these new leagues are popping up from USL. What else? So there's NISA. We spoke to a coach from NISA league. Like, so all these leagues are there now, which I'm so happy that it's there for my youngest brother.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So what I'm trying to get at is that in the rest of the world, they get the top players because it's breeded that way. They're not given the opportunity of like, hey, our men's baseball team is good. In some countries in South America, yeah, you like Puerto Rico,
Dominican Republic, yeah.
All those, they have baseball players that they breed. In Europe, I mean, cricket.
I was gonna say cricket.
Yeah.
Cricket's like the second best.
Golf? Do they golf there? I think they golf. I think it's like a thing for them too.
So you get what I'm saying is that I think in the US, I think it's gonna.
I think it's just a mindset. I think we just have so many sports here, and it's. I think now, like you guys said, social media has played a role. I think there's a lot of things that have just made soccer cool, and I think for a long time it was just baseball, just basketball, just NFL, like surfing, even snowboarding, dirt biking. Like, we have a ton of sports in the US. And I think soccer around the world is so much more important. Yeah. And you come to the US and it's like, what about football? What about basketball? Let's go watch the Lakers over the Galaxy,
Like, I think when it's important, it's when it's the World Cup. That's when you really hear it.
Yeah. That's when everybody is like taking out jerseys that have been collecting dust for 5 years.
It's because it's considered, I'm rooting for my country.
It's cool. Now it's cool.
Yeah. And again, my whole point was, again, I was trying to pick your brain of like, how can we actually grow and expand or make the system in the US better? Or do you think it's going to just stay that way where it grows and where the MLS becomes its own identity in a sense where, like, I'm not saying it's going to touch any other league. I'm just saying it's going to be like, like, that is specifically MLS.
I think we will for a long time just be our own thing. I think we will just be like MLS is its own league. It's soccer, but it's not near, it's not like a League of Mexico, even though they've been trying to combine the two for a while. And it's not like the European League, obviously. However, with that being said, I think it's going to take advertising the sport. I think it's going to be, having more playing time on the TV, playing it in bars more, When I went to Mexico during Copa America, I don't even know how many years ago, maybe in like 2016, 2017, not a single bar was playing Copa America, not one bar. And I struggled finding a bar here to play it. And in Mexico, they also were like, no, we don't want to play it. We don't want to play it. We don't want to play it. So I think that in itself, we're seeing it more on TV. I can go to a bar now and watch the Galaxy game if I want to, or LAFC or whatever soccer team. I can ask for it and they might look at me funny, but they'll play it for me. And I think this is the first year that we have beat out another sport in history, and we have higher viewership than NHL.
Yeah, the hockey, right?
Yep. And it's the first time we've accomplished that in years.
And hockey, they let you fight.
And they can fight in hockey.
You can fight in hockey. They just let you fight.
Fun. Hockey's really fun. I actually really like hockey. It's fun.
Get this. We used to play hockey.
Oh yeah,
that's what I'm telling you. We grew up with all the sports.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, we grew up with all the sports at a young age because it was available to us, and we thought it was cool, and we wanted to play.
Hockey is cool. You guys thought right.
Yeah. Right? No, we played it. We thought it was fun, right? Yeah. Like we had friends that couldn't even skate, and they were still playing.
Yeah.
Yes.
And do you guys still follow it?
Not as I used to, to be honest.
Who's your team? If you had to pick a team,
my team has been the Kings because of Gretzky.
LA Kings. Wait, you have to see my hockey puck collection.
Oh, Jesus.
Hockey puck collection.
Wow.
Look at this.
Get out of here.
Wow.
Now, were you hit by them? Or they tossed it to you? Were you
imagine all my
on
teeth
your
are
phone
fake?
And they're just like, oh shit.
All my teeth are fake.
All right.
No, I have another stack of this too. This is just the one I could grab.
Here. What?
You have a Drew Doughty signed puck. I have
That's awesome.
Like we used to watch hockey when Mario Lemieux, Wayne Gretzky, Paul Kariya.
Oh, when they played in the Forum then.
Yeah, so that was our time for hockey. But like I said, it left because we got older and we were liking soccer more. And there was a time, again, like before I forget this thought, there was a time where we had a pay-per-view to watch soccer. for the overseas games and even tournaments, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So the day those TV deals came over where we were watching Europe, it was done. It was done deal. Like we were like, forget every other sport.
Mm-hmm.
And I have my personal opinions on American sports, which I don't know if I want to get to in a bit, but like, again, like I just think certain things that are driven and shown and exposed in the US, I personally feel it's like for a reason in some way. But my whole thing has always been, it's like, I just hope the system of getting players to pro can be a little better in my opinion.
I do agree, but I do think, and I say this like with a lot of hope and optimism, I think that we're just starting to see the beginning of young players becoming pro. A lot of these guys like Christian Pulisic, he's the prime example. He was 17 playing for the men's national team, but he's not the first. I think we're starting to, or he was the first, but now we're starting to see more of that. We're starting to see 19-year-olds playing for our men's national team. And again, the fact that our age is the youngest team is crazy. We have built the youngest men's national team in US, like for the World Cup for the US, but that goes to show it's because it's finally starting to click for the younger players. Whatever is happening, I don't have like kids. I don't know anyone who's like coming up in the academy, but whatever has been happening, at least in the last 10 years, has done something that hasn't happened before.
I think it's because of what my brother said earlier. Those coaches came over here. I think those coaches were like, hey, you guys know this guy's good and can play over there with us in Germany.
Yeah.
And
you as a coach, what have you seen? How long have you been coaching for? And can't you see like a difference?
Just started yesterday.
No, I've been doing this now for over like 10 years. And like I said, I think a lot of it had to do with what I saw in the licensing when I first took my license to be a coach. The guy who actually even was my instructor, it kind of opened my eyes when he gave us a test. And then the first thing he says, he pulls out the book and he goes, "A blind pigeon can pass this." And when he said that, I'm like, oh man.
You're like, well, now I'm gonna fail.
I'm like, really? Like it's that easy? Like that's what I'm saying. Like it was that easy to now where it's like I've met coaches that I know a personal coach that's actually at the LAFC Academy, and he has his highest license. And he asked me, "Well, where are you at?" I said, "Oh, I'm at this one." He goes, "Oh, you're screwed, man." And I'm like, "Why?" Because he told me now what it is. And I said, "No." I was like, "No, I'm not screwed. I'm glad that it's that." Because you're telling me it's not easier now anymore for anybody to just get this. Because prior to when I got it, the lowest level I think was like a C license, meaning almost anybody could get that. So the thing here is when you get your license, it's a lifetime. It's almost a lifetime. Like you basically keep it like forever. So you don't really have to renew it. So C-level license coaches back then are now considered in this realm or this time almost like E-level license, which is like the lowest level, or like F level now. So over time, that has changed. The other thing that I've noticed is there's been now a curriculum and I think a system that they've implemented in terms of the environment of what they want the players to play in terms of the dynamic and the culture where, and I think I've spoken with my brother. Every country has their style. Every country has their system. We've seen it with Spain with what they call it their tiki-taka, their possession passing. We've seen it with Germany, which is their counter-attacking. We've seen it with England, which is like very direct, from point A to point B. And then a lot of other countries kind of implemented a lot of those different those styles and made it their own. Here, we've never really had one, but the difference here is that, and I think the issue we come across a lot is that we have too many of it, where we get coaches, in the college level that are, very direct. And then you get some, in the club level that are possessional based. And then you get some in, that are counter based. And it's like a lot of these players here, what tends to happen is they'll go from one to another and learn different systems, where sometimes it's good and sometimes it's bad because a lot of coaches intake what they like and what they prefer. So even if say this player is really, really good per se in this position, that coach may not like him just in terms of the style that he plays. So that they lose opportunities like that. And like I said, it can hurt us or it can help us. It just depends on how, things are kind of been viewed. And what I've seen again throughout from when I started to now is that there's been a little bit more open-mindedness, where before everybody was almost like kind of in their bubble and stubborn to say like, this is my style. This is my way. I'm not implementing nothing. I'm going to stick to this. This is what's always worked for me. And that's it. now, like myself, I mean, I kind of started that way. And as I grew and met coaches and met other, people and this and that, I started to kind of like take pieces of everything that they've had and that's good and bad and whatever, and try to implement it into my own. And it has, helped me in terms of my coaching career. And it's actually helped a lot of players that I've been fortunate enough to develop and be part of and help them get to where they need to go to. So the system, I think now from then has changed drastically. And I'm really happy about that, because before then it was like I said, almost anybody can kind of coach this game.
That's like music to my ears. That's literally like that. I could go to that and be like, I knew it. Like, soccer is growing.
No, it is.
Growing.
And that's what I was trying to say earlier. Like, when I was watching as a young kid, when I saw MLS in the Rose Bowl, it was entertaining. It was exciting. And there was a point when they finally, all those players that we like to watch left, where it became like, who are these guys? Like, what is this? And then even the style was completely different. I'm like, what is this? So it really turned me away to not want to watch MLS anymore, because I would get people like, hey, did you see the game? I'm like, no. I'm like, no, because they're like, why? I'm like, it was boring. Like, there is no entertainment in any of that. And then once like Beckham came and a lot of other guys came, then the style started to change again. Then they started implementing new things. And then you get coaches coming out from like Europe or Argentina, Brazil, coaches of that nationalities coming into this league and starting to implement their own things, where they started to kind of like build a culture and an environment for this system of what they have and implement it with MLS. Then it started to get more entertaining again, and it started to get more exciting. And then you see some of these coaches now that are going overseas, like Bob Bradley went overseas for a while. A couple other coaches went overseas.
Chris Armas is at Manchester.
Yeah, there's a couple of coaches that are overseas now that are actually implementing what they learned over there and doing really well. I think the best one right now that I was really, really shocked and surprised with is Jesse March, and he's actually at Leeds United right now. But prior to that, he was at Red Bull Salzburg, which was in I think in Germany or in Denmark, I believe. And he was doing a fantastic job over there. So a lot of this stuff now that they've implemented prior, it's gone into that realm. And a lot of people don't like to give this guy credit, but I want to say he was almost the staple of this was Jurgen Klinsmann.
Yep.
I want to say he was a massive.
Klinsmann, I think, really paved the way for a lot of coaches.
It paved the way, because when I went to go in for my license during his time, what they were teaching us, I knew it was from him because of how his style was.
Dang, you know how many people are going to hate that we said that?
Oh, a lot of people.
People hate on him.
Oh, they do.
There are haters in soccer.
I don't know why, but it's like, I think the Pulisic's, McKinney's, Dests, all these guys that are there now were during that time frame of when he was the coach for the national team.
He started.
Because they were, I want to say between that time, they were between the ages of 12 and 17. Yeah. And that was when he was around. And then you saw Pulisic, McKinney, a lot of these players were playing in Germany. And that's because Klinsmann gave that outlet to a lot of those players. I'm sure he had a massive amount of connections in Germany to say, hey, look, come look at these US players.
That's what I said.
It's like, they actually may have something here. You guys got to come look at them. And sure enough, they came down, they looked, and they took a couple players. And since then, we've seen it now. We're seeing more players go to Germany as opposed to going to Mexico or as opposed to going to England. I've seen it more often than most with a lot of players now all of a sudden. And some of these teams are actually, a lot of these owners are now co-owning with some of these MLS teams, where they kind of bring that outlet of allowing those players now to come over. Right. So as much as people don't want to give this guy credit, I truly believe he's part of the reason why we're kind of where we're at today. As bad as whatever it is that he did in the terms of the season of that year, whatever, I don't think we get to where we're at now if it wasn't for what he implemented and the mindset of what he wanted for this national team. Because I think he said it best in one of his interviews. He goes, there's no culture here. There is no culture here. When you come here, it's like there is no US culture. It's just soccer. Mm-hmm. And now there's almost a culture for it, where it's like, okay, this is what it takes now. This is what it is. This is the path now for you to get where you need to get to. And we're seeing it more often now. I'm seeing so many more headlines now of an MLS academy player getting looked at by Frankfurt, or going to get, like I think you said earlier, to Liverpool or to Chelsea, or just a second division Premier League team, which is massive over there. It's massive just to get an opportunity to go over there. So before, where it was almost unheard of to even get that opportunity. So a lot of players and coaches that, were throughout that time has led to kind of where we're going towards now. And it's picking up, and it's now spilling into the MLS, which is fantastic, which is what I'm really happy to see. Because again, prior to it, it was just like, okay, we can only bring in those players like Beckham or whoever just for show. But it wasn't really like, okay, we're going to implement something. We're going to try to build something. And I think now they finally saw it and they're kind of like running with it. And in some ways paying off.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah. So.
Wow, everything you just said to me made me so happy coming from like a coach's perspective. Because you're right. I think that at the ages of 12 to 17 for like, you know, Weston and Christian, I think that generation of players, and Christian has talked about it. He was like, I got a lot of academy practice and he was getting the right training and he took it serious and it got him where, I mean, look at the kid now.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing. And I try to implement a lot of that with the kids that I have today. Like, yeah, every kid comes up to me and says, oh, I want to be like this guy. I want to be like that guy. It's like, all right, but you have to understand that this is what it takes.
Yeah. You can't go to prom.
You don't see it this way because they're not showing you it.
Ball is life. Tell them.
So yeah.
Ball is life.
Exactly. That's what it is.
Football is life.
Yeah, football is life.
Ted Lasso.
And sure enough, this is where kind of like that mindset comes in. It's like, who's willing to really take that time and put in that dedication and commitment than the next, because there's kids that are like, they say it, and then once they actually have to go through it, they're like, oh, I really have to do that. It's like, yeah, if you really want to get to this point in the stage, you got to do this. And it's not easy. I mean, that's kind of, again, why I would always fall, like we were talking about earlier, we would always fall back with the European side and this and that, because, before YouTube and things like that, you would see like commercials and videos of these players, and we'd only see those players. We never saw the American players. We never saw Eric Winaldo. We never saw Alexi Lalas. We didn't see Donovan. We didn't see these guys really kind of be in the media spotlight to promote the sport within. Whereas we were seeing videos from players overseas in America. Like we see commercials of the Brazilian team. It's like, wait a minute, hold on. They did a whole segment of commercials with the Brazilian team, but we have our own team here, but they can't even do anything for them.
Yeah.
It's like, it was ridiculous. And it's like, so we get under the impression of like, that's what soccer is. That's what it's supposed to be like. That's what we want. That's what I want to see. And now we're kind of getting that here. Little by little, you're starting to see some of the Americans now starting to do a little bit of more spotlight, more interviews, more behind the scenes, which is amazing, which is what I'm happy to see, because when I grew up, again, I saw that on the European side. Not, I want to say just European, just the international side. I saw it from those players. Never saw it from the American side of players. So now that the American side that are on that side, but getting interviewed and doing it in an American, language, I think it's really refreshing to see and rewarding for a lot of these younger players to be like, wow, that kid was from Texas. I'm in California. Like that, I can do that. I could possibly be that, and it's like, it's amazing. And I'm really happy to see that. And even right now with the MLS, the guy that I said that I know that's there, I think he's brought up maybe 4 or 5 players from his academy team. That's actually now a few of them were been called up for the U.S. national team, the under 17s. And a couple of them I've actually gotten picked up with the LAFC to play in some of the games, probably just as subs or whatever. But it's great to see that that's actually a possibility now, as opposed to before, where it was just like, how kind of my brother said, it's like, well, what's left? Let me go do football instead, or let me go do basketball instead.
Well, like you guys said, you did football, you did hockey because that was the cool thing, right?
Yeah.
That was like the cool sport.
Yeah.
I think we're finally seeing an era where soccer is a cool sport. People are actually wanting to go to soccer games.
Yeah. Yes.
Reese Witherspoon, I think she just bought a percentage of the Nashville SC soccer team. Like Reese Witherspoon, there's people that are advocating for the sport of soccer and advocating for it in ways that has never, ever been done before, ever. Yeah. I mean, we're seeing celebrities at soccer games all the time. Yeah. LAFC has a ton, LA Galaxy has a ton, and we're seeing it across the league. And the fact that it's expanding or growing goes to show that it's become cool. It is cool now. Oh yeah. I mean, and I was very skeptical when LAFC came around. As a diehard Galaxy fan, I was like, who are you?
Yeah.
I was
Is that Chivas? Is that Chivas 2.0? I can't see it.
So I would, the reason why I was skeptical, because we grew up with Galaxy, and then I kind of went to the Galaxy games when they were, how they are now at the Carson. What is it? The home? No, what's it called?
It's Dignity Health now. Dignity Health.
Jesus, it's like 5 different names.
I know.
It used to be the Home Depot Center.
I think it was the Home Depot Center, StubHub Center.
StubHub.
Home Depot, StubHub, and I don't remember that.
I'm pretty sure crypto's coming. Soon.
Yeah, crypto's gonna take
Crypto's
over.
gonna take over and be like, you know what?
It's gonna be NFT. It's gonna be NFT.
But you know what's crazy is I went to like one of those games, but the atmosphere was just so
I remember that.
dead, and I'm like, and before that,
Wait, LA Galaxy's atmosphere?
This was
this was
like,
when they were like at the Home
they
Depot.
just
Center.
started there.
Yeah,
right?
that's when they just started.
That's when they just.
Oh, I was gonna say, oh no.
No, this wasn't recent.
No, not recent. But prior to that, like the last time obviously I went to was when they were at the Rose Bowl, and the atmosphere at the Rose Bowl, because I want to say that was the only professional soccer team within the area.
In the area, yeah.
It was really like, okay. Yeah,
There's
because
pro soccer
because
here.
we didn't have anything else pro. Because there was
That's what I'm saying. That's
the
what we
only
were
thing was
excited about.
college football. I don't think there was anything else. There was no other pro team other than
At that time,
like big like baseball. Yeah, but basketball too. But I don't think. I mean, it wasn't.
around '96, like the Rams were gone.
Yeah, Rams were gone.
The Raiders were
gone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That
So
was like
that was
the-
kind of the
the
next
Rose Bowl
best thing.
pro-
Baseball was still around, but baseball was whatever.
But you mean in the Rose Bowl?
Yeah,
as
I
a
mean,
pro
it was like,
team.
yeah, like as a pro team.
Yeah.
So as I'm saying, like the atmosphere, there was something there. I remember every time going.
Yeah.
I loved going. And then when we went to the one in Carson, it was like,
It just felt.
it just didn't feel anything. And then
felt
when
off.
LAFC came around, again, I was skeptical. I was like, it might be the same. It might be any other MLS game. But I'm
She's
not
like-
lying to you. The first one I went
I'm
to.
already like so nervous.
Hold on, no. But I'll tell you this. I was like, again, I'm skeptical because one, I wasn't into MLS already, and two, my expectations of the stadium and the atmosphere was thinking it was going to be like Galaxy. But I'll tell you this, it was amazing. I was massively.
Have you been to an LAFC game? At
Plenty.
LAFC's? At the
Plenty. I
stadium?
don't hate on them. I don't support. I'm not like, yeah, LAFC.
I know you're a Galaxy team, but
Through and through, I am LA Galaxy. I do believe that there would be no LAFC if there was no LA Galaxy. We paved the way to bring soccer to LA.
Of course.
With that being said, as much as I love Galaxy, I do think that the front office has really held on to like the old style of MLS, how it's been run for years.
Yeah.
They've been a successful team for years, but LAFC came in kind of like the bat out of hell. They had no rules and they knew exactly what they were doing. They designed their fan base and the atmosphere to be like a European league. They have said that. They have vocalized that. They have said, we wanted it to feel like it does in Europe. And they were smart to do it. I cannot even knock them on it. It was brilliant. It's brilliant. If you go to a good MLS game, you will leave feeling like that was electric.
Yeah.
When it's a good game, you leave feeling like you would in Europe. Like everyone is chanting, everyone is screaming, beers flying all over the place.
Yeah.
You go to a Copa America game, you go to any game where it's USA versus Mexico, it's nuts. And you get addicted to that, like that feeling.
Yes.
There's so much passion and energy there. And with Galaxy, and I can't say this for, I've been to a lot of MLS games, not just LAFC or LA Galaxy. I've gone to Colorado games. I've gone to Real Salt Lake. I've gone to other games. And I think the atmosphere is hit or miss in a lot of places.
Yeah.
And I will say that LAFC has found a way to keep that energy. I can't knock them on it. I won't knock them on it. Very neutral when it comes to them. I'm salty in a lot of ways because I wish that we could get every LA person to just be diehard Galaxy. Obviously, that will never happen now. But I will say they knew what they were doing. They knew what they were doing.
But I'll say this, I think with that happening, I've noticed it now with Galaxy trying that as well.
It lit a fire under our butts.
And I'm glad, and that's what this needed to be, because
they're like, oh shit, we need to do that
because like how you just said, Chivas USA 2.0. Prior to that, when Chivas USA was around, it was like,
that was
Chivas USA.
But that was like a whole debacle.
Yeah, that was a whole thing. But even the idea of bringing them in and trying to make it rival to Galaxy, it was like,
it didn't hit the mark.
It didn't hit. But this one did. But now, and the good thing is, it's because of it hitting so well. Galaxy's now been in that realm of like, we got to step up our game. Yeah, we have to, and they have. And I have buddies that are massive Galaxy fans, and they're posting all the time when they go to the games. And the atmosphere there now was not what it was before.
No.
And I'm noticing. I'm like, that looks awesome. That looks like now I want to go to a Galaxy game. You know, like
you should try and go when it's LA Galaxy versus LAFC. It is wild.
Oh, I'm sure it is, and that's
wild.
And that's what I truly believe helps grow this sport. Is the fan base, because when people go into that atmosphere, And especially as a player to play in that atmosphere, it picks up the entertainment of the game so much more, which makes younger players be like, I want to be on that field around this crowd. And it makes them say, I want to keep doing this and try to do that. And I'm glad that's what's happening, because I see it all the time. I see my own teams and a couple of teams that I've had prior that are going to the games and are just having a massive good time. Not only just at the LAC game, at the Galaxy games too now. And it's like, you see that fire just now come out of them and say, I want to go and do more so I can be on that field. I want to be that next player. And again, it starts with, that rivalry just itself, just having that alone, I think was a massive change and a massive boost for not just for the MLS, but I think just the sport in general for this state and probably within other states, because we're starting to see it now with some other states. I don't know if it has hit as well as others, but I know for sure here, just because like I said, because I coach, and in California, a Southern Californian team playing out of state, we're like head above shoulders a lot above other states. And we're like almost like celebrities to other states when we play them in tournaments. When a Texas team or a New Jersey team or a Florida team finds out they're playing a California team, I kid you not, their tails go between their legs and they're like scared.
It's because California knows how to party. They're like, oh no, they're here. And it's like, yes, we are. And we're a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah.
The city of dreams.
Seriously. I don't know why.
But no, I mean, I agree. I think that it has been helpful for the sport overall. And you have a point. I think it pushed LA Galaxy. It pushed their hand to make bigger choices too. That was the same season they brought on Zlatan. That's not a coincidence.
Hold that thought.
They brought on Zlatan is because they were afraid of LAFC.
Hold that thought. We're going to get to it.
Yeah.
The 30-minute run is starting right now.
Give me a second. We'll get to that eventually.
We're good?
We're hoping. Oh, yeah. We're good.
I don't know. My boyfriend's a podcaster too. And
cool.
He worked for Fox Sports, and they do 3 times a week in studio, and only one of the 3 is live. That's it. The other 2 are recorded and then edited.
We're just recording because we started it that way.
Well, eventually.
I kind of would like to do that. I like the idea of editing the video.
I mean, because he kind of produces it and like puts it together. I just post it out and like.
You just sit here and be the body and ask the questions. I do everything else.
I get the guests. I've gotten all the guests.
This
He's the booker. He's also the booker.
Like I got the talent, man.
All he does is this.
I get the talent. I get the talent.
You take the 5 minutes to say, "Hey, want to do it?"
No. How long did it take? Pam was like, "Who are you? Why? What?" And then I said soccer. She's like, "Oh, okay, yeah, cool."
Hey, in my field, I'm going to be very careful with who I communicate with.
Right? Who's this guy?
Yeah, you get enough. Can I get some feet pics? You're like, I don't know.
Wow.
Or I get this one a lot. Like, I'd love to pay you to be my friend. I'm like, do I look broke? Do I look like I'm desperate for $100?
Wow.
Oh,
I'm confused.
Goodness. That's funny.
You're not paying me for my time.
Oh my
Jesus.
Wow. Okay.
Being a girl on social media, guys, welcome.
I've seen it. That happens.
Oh my God. I deal with so
I'm sure you guys get those feet pics all the time. They're like, let me see the soccer toes.
Soccer toes. Oh my God.
Oh, holy shit. That's probably a thing. That's a thing.
Oh,
You guys should start only toes and let me how it goes.
I think we invested in the wrong profession.
Right? I think I asked
No
you
one
for
has
the
to know it too. Just put your foot by a soccer ball.
Yeah. That's it. Oh my God. It's such a pretty photo.
Caption.
The caption.
Just hashtag soccer. Ball is life.
No. It's football is life.
Foot and ball.
Are we recording?
Yes, we are.
Oh, that's going to be the bloopers for
We're
sure.
putting that in.
Yeah, we're putting that in for sure.
Okay, back to it. As I was saying.
To it. So you mentioned Zlatan, right?
Came in the same season LAFC became a thing. And it is not by mistake. I think it was a very thought out plot by LA Galaxy. I think they saw the new kids on the block. They're like, oh my God, they're a good team. They have a big ass fan base. And I think that they were like, let's pull the trigger. Let's make a big move. And they got Zlatan Ibrahimovic, what better guy than him? He's
Yeah.
controversial. Like, he starts drama. He was known for doing it overseas. Like, of course they're going to want that personality here. And what does he do the first game against LAFC?
Hat-trick?
Literally shout on them.
Two. He almost had a hat
Oh, it
trick.
was two. It was two.
Yeah, he won though. They were losing that game, and he came in and basically put 2 goals like in 10 minutes and won the game.
Did you see what he talked about recently?
Which one?
His recent podcast with ESPN FC.
No, but what did he say about MLS? I'm dying to hear it.
Oh,
He didn't talk bad about it.
No, not bad, but this is
He
what
did
said.
when he was here. He
When
was
he
like,
was
this
here, he
league's a
did.
joke.
Let's just say, well, the way he sounded was the same way he sounded here. He said, I came to the MLS because I felt like I needed to be alive, but yet I don't think MLS realized I was already alive, where I made it better. And he said he enjoyed himself there, and he also said he is the best player that MLS ever had. He said that, and he said he also, that's pretty much
That
what
was
he said.
basically it.
Right?
That was basically it. He was the best
said-
player to ever play in the MLS.
And there has been other interviews before this one where he said he felt he wasted his time, but he did his part and he enjoyed it while it was there. He said he made.
I mean,
the
did he
best
do
of
his
it.
part? Because we didn't win any cups with him. So
You just told me he got him there for a reason. Like, he did his part. Like, he did his part in a sense where I know where Zlatan is coming from. He did his part. He came, he saw, and he conquered.
he did come. He saw. He definitely conquered. Didn't win anything for us, but made a lot of goals.
I'm
I will
just
give him
saying,
that.
like, I don't think he's wrong on how he portrays himself.
I mean, listen,
he's not
a-
gonna lie.
I get the winning aspect, but I think in terms of what everyone else can see it in terms of MLS,
I'm gonna look for.
I think he really did more than what I think others would have thought of, especially if they followed him really well and what he was coming from prior to it. Because
Yeah.
he came off of massive knee injury that was, for most soccer players, almost career ending.
Yeah.
And from what he came out of from that injury to come here and to produce the way he did, I think it says a lot, obviously, of who he
I
is
will
and
say
all
this:
that.
as a soccer fan, he did exactly what he came here to do.
Yeah.
He did. But as an LA Galaxy fan, as a fan of the team,
Yeah.
I would have gone with anyone else for
Uh-huh.
wins.
Yeah.
I want our team to win. I'm tired
Of
of getting
course.
these big names. I want to win.
Of course.
I want us to get to the playoffs. I want us to freaking win. We have not been able to even be like, oh, we were there in the finals, us
Yeah.
against them. No, it's been years. And we've
Yeah.
had Robbie Keane, we have Steven Gerrard, we've had Zlatan. Now we have
Donovan. The
Chicharito.
last time Galaxy won was with Donovan,
think so, yeah.
right?
Yeah. And I think we did have Gerrard at that time on the team. But you know what I mean? It's like we have these great players, we have these names.
I think a lot of it though has to stem from, again, what they do in terms of the team aspect with like coaching and, the ownership and
Yeah.
who they buy and players like that. Cause I think LAFC really took that different route in terms of doing that with coaching and players, but it still didn't really pay off for them either, because I think only 1 year they won the league,
Who?
LAFC.
They didn't win no league.
They win like what is it? They win
Like
they won
the
something.
Like a shield. They won the
Yeah,
shield.
what
Voters'
it was-
choice or something where you could like vote for them.
No.
They won like a cup. They won
won something.
the shield. Whatever open this US shield. Like, there's a shield that the MLS has.
Should I look it up?
You can't.
If you can, but they won.
LAFC
There was a
Shield.
year I think they had
They
like the
won.
best.
They won.
They had the best, obviously, record in the league, and I think usually when you're the first place team overall, you win whatever that.
LAFC Shield.
They won a shield.
It was
that.
something, but that for me
Oh.
that was like nothing really.
While you're looking that up, you want me to say the quote that Zlatan exactly said?
Yeah, go for it.
He said, I'm the best ever to play in
The
the
Porter
MLS.
Shield?
Yeah, it's a shield.
Yeah.
It's a title. They won that. Right?
Yeah,
Yeah, 2019, their first season.
yeah.
Which
So-
was like their best season.
which I think got overlooked, obviously, because I think that what that trophy is basically having the best record in the league, like overall.
But you know what?
Basically-
2019.
That was
That's
the first
their
season.
second or third year.
Was it second?
That could have been their second year because I think they came out in 2018.
Okay.
Because they came, I think their first
think
season
it was
was
2018.
2017.
Probably. But
I'm trying to think of my age.
even then, the expectations of that team
Uh-huh.
from when they started to even to that point, they were heavily favored almost every year to go out and win like the final and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And every year they came up short. I think they went to the final once.
LAFC.
Yeah, did they go to the final once?
I think twice since 2017.
Yeah, but every year was expected for them to just kind of go in and just roll over everybody and win.
They've had a solid team.
Yeah, no, they have, but it was just always weird to see, well, not weird, but it was just like, man, they kept losing, and then the other thing too was that they would, I'll give kudos to this one, is they couldn't beat Galaxy. Yeah, even when they had a crappy team.
Even recently, right?
Yeah, even recently, they still have not been able. And it's funny to me when I seen that, like because I've always said, man, the LAFC. No, yeah, oh no.
Can we just repeat that again?
No,
people in the back.
I give you massive credit
in case
for this
you didn't
one.
hear it, what?
And you know what's funny? The year where Galaxy had like a horrible record, and I think LAFC
that was like 2 seasons ago.
Yeah, they should have LAFC should have steamrolled them, and I think Galaxy ended up beating them 3-0, I think, that game. And I'm just like, what just happened?
I mean,
no, and
when it comes down to the importance of a match, LA Galaxy can lose every single freaking game in the season.
As long as you beat LAFC.
The guys are going to bring it when we play LAFC because they have something to prove.
Yeah. And I'm glad
that's how you know our team is good. When they want to be good, they bring it.
Yeah, it's true. It is true. I believe that. But yeah, no, but going back to the Zlatan thing, I get the fan base part in terms of wanting to win things and things like that. Yes, I get it. But I still, in terms of his age, in terms of what he came from, in terms of what he was capable to do in those 2 years, as much as I've seen the players that have come in for what he did, I mean, I don't want to fully disagree with him that he was the best
at that
player.
age. He was
36. I don't want to disagree because it's like, if he did it and then he said that, if he didn't do what he did and then said that, then I'd be like, I don't know, I can't agree. But
were you not good?
I mean, I think I can agree because as much as Vela's this, Vela's, I'm like, Vela's so much.
Yeah, he shat on Vela a lot. I like Vela.
He's so much younger. I think he's far better than what people make him out to be. And I think he can be doing more than what he's doing at LAFC.
Cool.
Vela.
Vela.
Yeah. But you know the story.
No, yeah, I know. I don't
know if you know.
I know the whole story of Vela.
I don't know if she knows about Vela specifically. There was an interview way back. Again, hopefully I can find it. My dad was watching it, and they asked him, "Do you really love soccer?" And he said, "No, I just play the sport because it's my job. I just play it because I'm really good at it. I don't have the love and passion the way the others. I just know I'm good at this, and this is what is going to keep my career going. I don't have to play soccer," he said. "I just play it because it's a sport and it supports my family." So again, there's different people that are built differently. He knows he's good. And I think when he was able to come to the MLS, he was just like, yeah, X amount of $1 million, live in Malibu.
I'll do it. Yeah.
Why not?
You know what's sad? I know a lot of players who have vocalized that and who have told me it's not fun. When it's your job, it's not fun anymore.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's really sad.
Oh no, it is.
I love it. It's as a fan. I watch it. I'm like, oh, that's so cool. But to hear that there are, and I don't think it's every player, but there are players out there.
Oh yeah.
Well, I mean, I think
you can
that's
see it though. You can see it.
That's one reason why I think he doesn't like Neymar. I think he's gravitating towards Neymar as opposed to Ronaldo, the Brazilian one, because there were two different breeds. And we'll get to we can get to that Brazilian. But again, going back to MLS and Vela, I just know again from seeing that, I know the feeling, because when I went to college to play college football, it is a job. It becomes a job. And even their players around me are like, I really want to hang out with my friends. I'm like, bro, you have a scholarship to play here and you want to hang out with your friends. I get the social life, bro, but wait, what? You're supposed to be being paid for. I get it, man, but that's gonna be there. That's not going anywhere, So for what you said about other players, it's just something that they're so good at that they have to hey, as long as I can do it, I'm gonna do it. But with the whole Zlatan, for him to say he's the best player that ever came for the MLS, I mean, he's not wrong.
No,
in my opinion, like I said, he did what he did. And again, to what your point was, Galaxy got him for a reason to rival up with LAFC because they were the new kids in the block and they were taking the shine. and yeah, I mean, it was literally that
And it
rivalry-
worked. Let me tell
it
you.
worked. That rivalry
worked.
was built that way. Like they built the rivalry very well. They built it very well, in my opinion, for sure.
Yeah, it was David and Goliath. That's exactly what that turned out to be.
Mhm.
He brings Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Our stadiums had nothing but Zlatan jerseys.
Oh yeah.
Most fans that were going to those Galaxy games were not Galaxy fans. They were Zlatan fans.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it was very apparent. Swedish people were coming out here. They were like, oh, the Swedish guys playing for LA Galaxy. They were all of a sudden LA Galaxy fans.
Yeah.
So I think what Galaxy did was very smart. I do. I think at the time it was exactly what we needed to happen. I just hope moving forward, we start finally getting players that are going to get us a win. Chicharito starting to come out of I think the first 2 years that we had him, we didn't see him where he could be at the level that we're seeing now. I hope that he continues to do what he's doing. And I hope that we see a change this season. LAFC right now, I think they're undefeated. Last time I checked, they've had a tie, but they haven't been defeated yet.
They just won like 2 hours ago or an hour ago.
They're still freaking undefeated.
Yeah,
Are they?
they beat Portland just now. My phone was going off. I'm considered an LAFC fan. I'm considered a fan.
Do you say you're
No, they've
considered an
lost.
LAFC fan?
They've lost.
I consider myself an LAFC fan because when they first got, it's funny. A quick story. One of you
they lost. How did you know they didn't lose?
Who lost?
LAFC was lost.
No, I thought. Oh, the record.
No, they're not.
Oh, they have
undefeated.
lost.
They have lost.
They haven't.
No, they have.
Who?
LAFC
Against who?
I don't know.
to Galaxy.
Oh yeah.
Oh, duh.
You got me thinking.
Yeah,
I mean,
I remember they did.
Shit,
I
that.
don't even
We're
count that game
we're
because I
editing
just
that.
count it as a win always for me.
Oh my god!
But they have the best undefeated record in MLS right now. I think they're number one in the standings.
They're number one in the standings, but they only have one loss. Galaxy's right behind them with 3 losses. It's like,
How many games has it been so far?
Problem with LA
10.
Galaxy is we go up and down really fast.
yeah. That's
LAFC's been
true.
holding
That's
that
true.
number one spot because I've been watching them.
LAFC.
I want to see them go down one
Galaxy-
time. Just
Galaxy's
one
like-
time, go down.
Galaxy's like owning crypto, goes up and down all the time. Seriously, doesn't. I have
Give
crypto.
us
and I'm
more
like,
credit.
what
We're
the
like the
heck?
S&P 500, okay?
Yeah.
We're cooler than that.
But I'll give credit. Galaxy finally invested in a good coach.
I think we're seeing something different. That I think we
Great
still need
Benny.
to see more. I still do. I think LA Galaxy's got to make some more changes. I think we're starting to see better. I don't know what it's going to be. I don't know if it's a coaching thing or a team thing. Even I think honestly, something the front office has to change.
Who? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I say coaching is a good step in the direction, especially who they got. Greg Vanny has been doing pretty well for the last recent years. He had Toronto and he was with
Yeah.
I'm sorry, he was with Toronto and he had them in the finals for
Oh shit, he did.
a good handful of times, and I think he won a couple of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's done a fantastic job. So I think him coming in was a massive step, one, and two is starting to finally probably bring in some more producible players that can really perform and do well. So I think for sure that's in the.
We just got a new player too from his name's Casper. I only remember because it reminded me of Casper the Friendly Ghost.
I was literally about to show him.
Let's see. Yeah, Chase.
I think he's coming
Casper.
from Atlanta. No,
Minnesota.
Minnesota. Okay.
Chase Cap.
Yeah, and then Douglas Costa just came in.
Did he?
Yeah.
I mean, this season.
The
Yeah.
other kid I like though is that French kid.
Oh yeah, what happened to the French
What happened
kid?
to the
He's-
French-
Rancier.
I
He
think
had
so.
dreads, number 9. Was it?
No, Cabral. Kevin Cabral.
Okay. He's, I think, one of our highest paid players right now, and I don't think he's producing as well as he should be.
Right.
He was last year.
The year he came in, he was.
The year he came in, he was really impressive.
You
He
should
was
look at
really-
what he's doing this year.
You're probably right. Yeah.
But you know what? I'm not going to knock the kid. Obviously, we got him for a reason. He did well last year. I think every player, we'll see him. Not everyone. We'll get some players are really lucky and just always stay winning. But I think we see sometimes that I think it just seeing a player play on a team, it takes time to adapt. When you get new players, old players leave. Now you're adapting to new styles of playing on the field. So maybe that's what we're seeing. I'll be optimistic here.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah. Let's talk about that Brazilian jersey. So you're not Brazilian. You guys are not Argentinian. Are you guys straight Mexican?
Yes.
Full bred?
Yes.
Mexican American. We were born here. Apparently.
Mexican Americans. You're like Selena.
Yeah.
See. So she goes,
What's that line? I'm not Mexican enough for the Mexicans. I'm not American enough for the Americans.
but here's the funny thing that I brought up last podcast. Like it's funny because when I meet people that are all of a sudden soccer fans and the World Cup comes around, like I have this friend that she used to work in the radio station, and like we used to hang out and like and do photo shoots and whatnot. And then like the World Cup came and she's like, wait, you're not rooting for Mexico? Aren't you Mexican? I'm like, yeah, I'm rooting for Portugal. My guy is Cristiano Ronaldo. She's like, what's wrong? She's like, what? That's a disgrace. I'm like, hold on. You just started watching soccer this World Cup and you're telling me it's a disgrace to me? I was like, wait, what? I was like, I've been playing soccer since I was 8. Like, how are you coming at me with this? Well, you're Mexican, your family. I'm like, yeah, again, I tell the same thing all the time. I grew up watching these other European players because that was more accessible and somehow as opposed to when the MLS came. You know, like I was a Kobe Jones fan. Like, like I was a Lalas fan. I enjoyed those players, but again, the spectacular of the European like soccer was just I gravitate towards. So all of us kind of like grew up watching different national teams. Like again, he's so.
So you were for Brazil in the World Cup, and then you were Portugal in the World Cup.
Yes.
So for me, it was when the World Cup was here in '94. Yeah, I saw the Brazil team.
My brain is still processing this.
Yeah, go ahead. 94 was when I really saw the Brazil team, especially when they went to the final and they won. And then it kind of picked up from there. And the really 98 is where
98 was.
I think that was the year where it really like,
holy shit, these Brazilians
were something else.
They were dominating.
They were just on a whole nother platform in terms of the sport as opposed to everyone else. Because they would go to a game and you can already like you knew
there was no friendlies.
It was like you knew they were gonna just win. Like they were gonna win, but not even win in a manner of like, we're just gonna come here and win and go on. No, they came in and put on a show every single time in terms of the way they played, their style, their passion. And I fell in love with it. Because that at the time, again, that's what was being shown. That's all like I ever got to really watch, you know, like that was what was getting the, I guess you could say, the ratings. You know, that's what was getting the eyes on everyone. I didn't see like France. I didn't see Germany. I didn't see, you know, Portugal. I didn't see Spain. Brazil was like on the TV for almost anything and everything, even the commercials. Like it was that. They did a whole TV called Yoga TV, which is literally just Brazilian players the entire time. Yeah. And that's all it was, even the promotion for that. And then they did the whole the indoor thing, the cage thing, and they had tournament. They had all the best players. They had, majority of them were Brazilians, and then you had sprinkled on some other players. But it was like, it was just again Brazil at the time between '98 and I want to say 2002,
'94 to 2002. Brazil just dominated soccer from everything from commercial to the actual product on the field.
Yeah, it was.
And that was just like mind-blowing.
And that's what I grew up with. That's what again, I gravitated to that because that's all I saw. You know, I didn't see anything else other than that. Yeah, we went to the MLS, all the Galaxy games and things like that. But I was still gravitated towards that because when it came time to watch a game on TV, Brazil was being shown. You weren't seeing, the only time you ever got to see US play was when they were playing Mexico. Yeah. And that was it. You never got to really see them go play, you know, Puerto Rico or Uruguay or whoever else they played during that time. Whenever Brazil played, that was like prime television at the time. And that's what I gravitated towards. And I just fell in love with the team. And when I played, I was a striker and I related myself to Ronaldo from Brazil. And I always wanted to play like him and be like him and do everything like him.
I can ask you the same question. You're from Argentina. How are you not a diehard Argentina? Like,
so
how are you
I'm not
like Boca, like
I know, I'm
like
not
just. I got a Boca jersey.
Do you really? We got some Boca players at LA Galaxy. Just saying.
I like when that was probably my club team when I was younger. Boca Juniors.
Like I'm in love with their fans.
I had a jersey that I bought in Mexico, or my parents bought me in Mexico, and I'm not lying to you. I wore that jersey probably almost every day.
Yeah.
I loved that jersey. That was like my favorite.
Being a kid wearing the same thing every day, not caring.
Yeah. That was.
Can we go back to that?
Yeah, right. I loved that jersey. That was like my thing to wear I loved it. I wish I still had that jersey. I don't know if we do. If we do, it's probably somewhere in some storage somewhere. But when I got that thing, like it was like the greatest feeling in the world to have that jersey. Yeah. And even at that time too, because Boca Juniors again, I think was another team that at that time was
everywhere,
global, like everywhere.
Yeah.
I remember that, and I remember during that time, that was another team I gravitated towards when I was younger.
And why? What were you about to say? How come you're not?
So my dad's from Argentina. So because of that, obviously we grew up Boca Junior fans. World Cup came around, Argentina through and through. But my mom is Peruvian and Spaniard. My dad's actually Italian, Argentinian. So when the World Cup came around, minus Peru, I always had a dog in the fight. I always rooted for Argentina, always. And that's who I would want to win over everyone. Argentina was number one to me. I was like, I want them to win. I want them to win. If Spain got out and be like, dang it, it's fine. I have another dog in the fight. Italy, dang, I have Argentina. But I also always loved Mexico. I'm surprised you guys don't. I think because I've always been able to watch them through Copa America, not just the World Cup stage. I've always loved the Mexican national team too.
So
I love Ochoa. I love Ochoa. I love Chicharito. Like I love these players that have played for the Mexican national team. So whenever the World Cup came around, and this year too, like you will see me rooting for multiple people because I represent the US through and through. I am a American citizen. I'm first generation. I'm very proud to be an American, but I'm also very proud of my culture. And with that culture, I'm a diehard, Peru's been in the World Cup once since I've been alive. So, that was the one time I got to root for Peru and I was very thankful for that moment. But usually I have a lot, I can root for Mexico, I can root for Argentina, I can root for Spain. And those are usually really good teams. So I kind of always have like good dogs in the fight.
Yeah, it's my kind of gal. That's what I do. I don't have a specific, again, the reason why I gravitate to different teams is because of the players. I'm a player fan first. I tell my brothers, like, these clubs don't do anything for me anymore. Like they change owners, they change coaches. Sometimes you don't have a good season. It's like, I'm sorry, I'm going to root for the players. The players are the ones that are playing. And those players are not always going to be there 20 years like a Messi. You know what I mean? Like that doesn't really happen anymore. All your best favorite players are going to leave somewhere else, especially in the club level. As opposed to the country. I'm not saying that I'm not a Mexican national team fan. I root for them because of my parents. Like I have like like this is the order I root: Portugal, France, Mexico, and then USA. That's in that order. So that's my teams for the World Cup because Portugal, obviously, because Cristiano.
And France is good.
France is good because France is good because I fell in love with the country and I've been there and everything was just like amazing to me. So I was like, I'm going to root for these guys. And then Mexico, obviously, because of the nationality of my family, and then US because I was here. Like Donovan was my guy at one point. Like at one point, Donovan. Oh, yeah. Right? Remember that?
Yeah.
I was like, that's my boy. That's my boy. And then he left. Yeah. He left. Like I said, he left. And he retired. And I was like, all right, well, this team is kind of struggling. So I was like, I'll see you guys when you're good. It's like, you're not going to go anywhere. There's still a U.S. national team. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, if you don't make the World Cup, well, it is what it is.
He used to piss off my mom a lot when Mexico and USA played.
Because my mom hated Donovan.
Really?
With the passion. She would curse out the TV.
Yeah.
In Spanish. Because she didn't like the way he would brag when he beat Mexico.
Yeah.
She hated that.
Damn.
And she was like,
dude, that rivalry between Mexico and US is literally very similar to LA Galaxy and LAFC. It is. Yeah. It is there. It is.
Yeah, it was pretty fiery with Donovan there.
Right? Remember that?
I remember that. My mom would get so
we were just like,
you're like, that's my best friend, Mom.
Yeah, that's my boy, Mom. Like, well, I hate your boy.
That's my guy.
But yeah, man. I mean, I get it. Yeah, the reason that's my main reason is more of the players, and like I've been gravitating to those guys. Again, similar to how it's like from the MLS to other leagues. It's just I gravitate to just certain product and just certain elegance of the sport, or the players, but yeah, that's our thing. That's why he's a Brazilian fan, but he doesn't like Neymar.
See, mine goes culture first. And luckily I'm very diverse. I'm not just one ethnicity. I have a lot. So I've been lucky because I can root for a lot of people.
Yeah.
But when everyone who I root for goes out and they're all like not doing so hot. Then I start to root for like, okay, I know I like France. They're a really good team. So I'm going to root for them over Germany. Like I will always root France over Germany.
Which is
I'm very salty with Germany.
As you should. Because Germany right now.
Yeah. I don't know.
But are we good? Are we gonna stop it again or not yet? Got a minute?
We could stop it, but this actually hasn't popped up this time, so I'm happy about that.
Because I have a good question for her.
Oh, ask me. Ask away. Ask while you have me.
Let me stop this.
All right, we're gonna stop 30 and then I'll ask the question.
And then we'll start this, and then if this pops up, then we'll just
go.
All right.
But thank you for your patience.
No, of course.
I think this is probably one of the funnest like podcasts we've had so far.
Woo!
Honestly, because I love your energy. I love that you're so intrigued. Like, yeah, we're just talking soccer. Like I said, I don't know how long it's been so far. What, 2 hours almost? Are we on 2? How many hours? We started at
like 8:15. Yeah, so we're like at 2.
I told you, like we just conversate. We lose track of time. We're like, I don't care. I love to talk about soccer. Like I can.
I do too. But, like my guest that I'm having tomorrow, his PR team was like, like he has like a PR team. So he's like, I need to know like exactly what the podcast is about, like what you're going to ask me before I can say yes.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's truly going to just be about soccer and like the love of the sport and like how you value it and like how you want it to grow. And like, as soon as I saw it, he's like, done deal. He's like, I'm there.
Awesome. Yeah. All right. And we're good with the next question. So Pam, you're a big MLS fan. Who do you think is the best MLS player that you ever seen?
That I've ever seen?
You personally, you've seen, and you're like, since you started following MLS, who is your guy?
Ooh. That's a tough one.
Wait, are we gonna have to hold that thought again?
Could she answer it in 5 minutes?
Okay.
Answer it in 5 minutes.
We got time. Go for it. 10 minutes. Go.
Shoot, there's been quite a lot of people I've really, honestly, I feel like this one's gonna be such like a twisted answer.
Gotta be
if we're gonna talk about just like player in general, like who
guy. This is your guy. This is your go-to. This is the one you would talk about out of any other player. This is the guy, my guy.
He's not a scorer. He's not a striker. Ironically, we've had a lot of great forwards. One of my favorite was this Argentinian guy who played for LA Galaxy. I'm blanking on his name right now. Played for us for a few seasons. We had him on loan. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Isn't
it Pavon?
Pavon. I love Pavon, but that's not my favorite. Love Pavon. Traore is really good. He plays for Portland. I really enjoy watching him play. I've loved seeing Boateng out on the field. Zlatan was a lot of fun to watch. Vela, incredible player on the field. He makes such good plays. But there's one player who I miss playing for the defensive line of the LA Galaxy, and it is Gel Van Dam. That dude was a fucking like brick wall in the back. He would knock down any player. He was ruthless. He would start fights, and he was all tatted up. He was so fun to watch for me.
No. I'm sorry. I don't think I can even think of how this guy looks.
What's his name?
Look him up. Gel Van Dam.
I thought she said John Claude. Like the actor?
Yao. I think I'm pronouncing it wrong. It's probably like Yao.
Oh my God, why can't I think? Like, what was his last season? He's not there anymore, right? Like,
no, he left. His kids lived. I forgot where he was from. He's from Europe somewhere. So his kids moved back there with his wife. And he said it was too hard to be away from them.
Oh, okay. I kind of I remember him.
Wait, now you guys maybe want to change my answer. I love Van Dam.
No. I just didn't know who he was until I had to see the photo. I'm sorry. Like,
he's from Belgium.
He was good. He was really good defensively, especially for him coming into the league. Like at the age that he was at, he still performed really well. And I think since he's left, defensively, I've just missed that like gritty player in the back who was just ruthless. Right now, I really like Julian Araujo. I think he's been doing great because he kind of has,
You talk about him a lot.
I talk about him a lot.
Yes.
I love Araujo.
I've noticed. Go ahead.
I love him. He's like kind of like a Van Dam. Like he's not afraid to fight people. Like he will get a yellow and be like, I don't care. Like I thought that was worth it. but he's also really good with the ball. He knows what to do. And I've watched him. He's been on Galaxy for a while. He just started impressing me. Like in the last 2 seasons, I've been like,
No, he's
who
good.
is this kid?
Yeah, no, he's pretty good. And he picked the good national team. Like he picked the good side. And I think it's because he wasn't going to play if he went to the US. Right?
Yeah.
He's on the left back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who's on there? Dest?
No, just on the right.
Who's on the left? It was, what's his name?
It was someone good. I forgot his name.
But he made it better.
Recall.
I think he made the best addition to go to Mexico. I think so.
To go to do what?
To play for the national team in Mexico. Like, do you think he made the
I mean, he's right. He wants to represent for his family's culture, and I respect that. I do. I think that's amazing. And he has said that. He's like, my parents sacrificed a lot for me to be here. I'm going to go support that country. I'm going to go support Mexico.
Yeah.
And I think that's beautiful. Like I said, I'm very, very thankful for my background. I'm a very proud American, but I'm a very proud Latina as well. I'm thankful for the sacrifices my parents made. And it's not easy. I hate when people think like, oh, immigrants just come here. They don't. There's reasons. It's because their countries weren't safe.
Same for us. Same for us. No, likewise. We totally understand.
So I respect that. I respect Julian Araujo making a choice. You know, he's being offered to go overseas. Like he'll be playing in Europe.
Finally, which I've been saying for the past year when I noticed.
He's amazing. So I'm going to say Van Dam for my defensive player because he was so fun to watch. But Julian Araujo, I mean, I don't know. Vela also. There's too many. I'm going to go with.
I should pick one. You already took like 3 of them.
Araujo and Van Dam because I want to stick with LA Galaxy.
Oh my
Picking
God.
those 2.
The Van Dam guy actually came from pretty good teams. I didn't even realize that.
I'm telling you.
He came from Anderlecht. He came from Ajax. He came from Werder Bremen. He came out of.
He came from Europe, man.
Yeah, no, but he came from like legit teams. But he came from like legit teams. So I was like, oh.
You guys should watch like some of his like footage. Like he was like a ruthless guy, and then I'd be like, oh,
I believe
I watched him live. Scored a water bottle at a player when the refs weren't looking. He went to the side, went to drink his water, and the guy comes by and he squirted the water at him and ran off. And I was like,
I don't think it's as bad as Zlatan smacking somebody in the back of the head.
Yeah. it's water, dude. It's water.
I still find that moment.
I just think it's petty, and I like that. I
Yeah,
was
I get what you're saying.
whoa.
I still like this Zlatan moment though when he smacked him in the head and he's like, "What did I do?"
He got stepped on, huh?
Yeah, he got stepped on him. That was amazing when he did that.
I loved it when Zlatan pushed his own player and said, "Hey, get the fuck over here." That was Sebastian.
Oh yeah.
Oh no way!
Yeah, one of the games I was like, "Yo,"
he
pushed Sebastian was just looking at him like, "Well, it's Zlatan. I can't really say it."
Yeah, he pushed.
He literally pushed him out of the way. He's like, "You're not supposed to beat in my area."
Dude, imagine that locker room. Everyone was like, "Please go ahead. Do you like to use the shower before me?"
Yeah, like, your Highness is ready for you. Your Highness.
Oh, here are your cleats, Zlatan. Imagine Jonathan Dos Santos being like, "Here's your jersey. I brought it for you from the dry cleaners."
Oh yeah. Hey, but I think they played together in Barca. Wasn't he there?
Yeah.
Because Jonathan was still there too.
Was it Jonathan or Gio?
They were both there. They were both at Barca.
Yeah.
And when
Wait, did you
Zlatan
guys see Gio tried to come back to MLS and didn't make it? Did you guys see that?
We didn't see that.
I didn't see that.
But I heard something that he was trying to come back.
I think Inter Miami too. And Inter Miami hasn't been having a great season.
Yeah, they haven't.
They're going to struggle
They're
for a
struggling.
while.
They're struggling.
I was surprised. I liked Gio. I mean, maybe like he wasn't the best towards the end, but like I thought he was good.
Yeah, no.
What do I know, guys?
No,
you
you know
know
a lot. You know a lot. Like, no, really. He was good. I was surprised when he left, but
I was too. That must have been really awkward. Like we're gonna keep one brother,
but again,
the older one's gotta go.
I think towards the end, Gio just kind of like it just wasn't feeling the same. And I don't even think he's playing right now, right?
No, I'm saying he tried to come back to MLS. Did he look it up?
No,
Inter Miami. I think Inter Miami. Look up Gio Dos Santos and Inter Miami, and I think it'll show that he like tried out or they were discussing like a contract and he didn't get it.
Yeah, he's gonna be that type of player where he's gonna go to the second division somewhere. Like it's that time.
You see him?
Checking. Let me see.
Where's Jonathan? I know Sebastian went to New England.
Jonathan's at Club America.
This was in April.
Oh, he is?
Yes. He was there.
Wait, are you guys going to go to that game, the soccer game at SoFi?
There's a soccer team.
Yeah,
That's so fun.
it's the
It's
champions.
LAFC against the Liga Mexico team. I forgot which one.
It's that conference league that they created between the two. It's only between MLS and Liga MX. It's basically like their own Champions League kind of deal.
Dude, it's gonna be dope.
LAFC is supposed to play America,
I'm trying
Yeah.
to go to
and then Chivas is playing also. I think?
against
I think so.
Galaxy.
Against Galaxy.
Yeah.
I think it's Chivas against Galaxy.
Yeah.
They kind of created their own little like.
I'm
Dude, that's
conference
gonna
league.
be basically like watching USA versus Mexico. That's literally
Yeah.
what it's gonna look like.
Yeah.
That's why they made that league, right? Or that competition. Did you find it?
Yeah, I did. It's
What did
here.
it say?
It just says the fall of Gio dos Santos, a year without playing, and Beckham gives it. Oh shoot.
It says the fall of him. That's really
Yeah. The fall. Beckham gives him a chance. Former Barcelona player. Training year makes last appearance. April 11th. Contract came to an end. Departed Mexico last June. He's been training where he's trained back in shape to find a new club. Inter Milan are not interested in signing the 32-year-old forward, but David Beckham gave him an opportunity temporarily. That's basically what it says. They're not interested, but they're kind of like allowing him to train there to kind of get him back in shape, I guess.
interesting.
Oh yeah, clubs do that.
Pam,
Cool.
thank you again
Yeah.
for your patience.
Really?
'cause
Oh, of course. Totally fine.
this
I get
normally
it.
doesn't happen. I just don't know what happened. So
He was just not prepared.
Technical difficulties is all good.
Right.
but I can edit all this where it looks like none of this ever happened.
Exactly.
We love that.
All right.
So, Pam, the World Cup, the one that's coming up. The U.S. is finally there,
I know.
right? How?
Barely.
How?
Jeez.
Okay. Pam.
Don't even get me on that one because I had a whole rant on that last
Our
time.
other podcast, I gave him the full 2 hours.
I ranted about the U.S. qualification.
So
I won't get into it now.
So if you want to put like a snippet a little bit, that's fine. But I'm gonna ask Pam. Pam, how do you feel about their chances and how excited are you? This World Cup is in the fall. Give me everything, girl.
Oh my God. Okay.
She's like a
I've
little
been
nigga.
dying to talk about
She's like,
this.
oh my God, I'm so glad.
I think that our chances are really high. The reason for that being is I think one, that we performed well, not the best all 3 games, but I think you could see that when we really focused, that second game when Christian Pulisic was literally he could not be bothered. Like he was so focused. And I think that influenced the players to also keep their head down and focus on the game. We also did have injuries. Like we didn't have Weston, which I think also played a very big part. He's a key player. He's one of our best players. That's like losing. I mean, it's like not having Christian, having him. You can see the way those two play together on the field, having those two powerhouses on the field, I feel like makes a huge difference. So I think, and then also Matt Turner, who's been playing extremely well, that Arsenal wants him now. He was injured. So I think once we get like a full healthy team, our chances are really good. I think another thing that's going to set us apart from everyone else going to the World Cup is we have something so much more to prove. We didn't make it last time. We did not qualify. So now all these young players are going to have a chance to not only play for their country, but to prove themselves on the biggest stage that they're going to have in their career. And they're 19, 21, like they're young. And I hope that they stay focused. As long as they're young and focused, I think we'll see a big outcome out of this game. I don't know if we'll win it the whole way through. I'm not naive, but I think we'll go really far. I think we'll go further than we have before.
How do you see the group for them? Do they take it or they're second?
Huh?
Do they take the group or they come second?
I think they take the group.
Zoe,
Optimism.
I said the exact same thing because the similarities of what you said as opposed to what my brother thinks.
Oh no, they're not taking the group.
I think they will. Listen, if they don't, I'll say, you know what? Not this year, but I know we're gonna get there.
I think they could.
Oh, yeah,
Again, I
eventually.
said I think they could take the group, but the thing is, we don't know if Wales is coming in
Oh yeah, I forgot who else. Yeah, there you're right.
because they're still
You're
waiting
right.
on one team.
They're waiting on Wales, Scotland.
Oh
and
yeah.
And Wales, the way Bale plays at Wales now,
yeah.
I mean, he's like, this is my team for now on. I don't care about Madrid. The way he plays for Wales is like unbelievable. So it could be somewhat, quote unquote, a group of death if the Wales come in. You know what I mean? So that kind of changes the dynamics for me personally.
Yeah.
But we did it on our podcast, Who Takes the Group. We did all that already. So I have US being surprised to take the group. I'm not a big fan of the English national team. I just never seen them as anything really strong as opposed to the way my brother sees it. So I just think that the way US is going to do it's going to be by like a surprise. It's
I think so too.
I don't think.
And
it's
I'm
gonna be
with you.
dominant.
I think the English national team, they're good and they're not. You know, like I've seen them be like play amazing where I'm like, oh wow, like they're doing really well. But then I've also seen them fall back.
Yeah.
And I feel like US is going to be almost like a surprise tactic. They're not going to know how to play against us because we're a new team. We have one player. What's his name? I'm like blanking on his name. He like played for years now for the World Cup, and he's the oldest one we have on the team. What's his name?
Check.
Yedlin.
Yedlin, that's what I was talking about. Yedlin.
Yeah.
The fact that Yedlin's our oldest player
He's like
speaks
28.
volumes.
I think it's 28 or 30.
He's 28.
Yeah, 28 is
He's
the
28.
But that's what I'm saying. Like he's like our oldest player, like our experienced
Yeah,
World Cup player
Yeah, yeah.
is
Yeah.
Yedlin.
Yeah, well, the way I'm saying surprised,
Oh yeah.
I'm talking about surprise, like, holy shit, that's how you guys want. I'm not thinking dominance. I'm not thinking like out of left field. I'm thinking more like a surprise goal where they like, oh shit, they got it and they were able to take the group, if that makes any sense. You know what
There's
I
a
mean?
couple of guys on here, but I don't know if they're gonna take these guys.
Oh.
It's just the roster that's showing, but I don't think they're gonna take all
But
these
I'm with
guys.
you, Pam. I think USA has a chance to surprise, and I think that would be good for them.
If they can be healthy, yes.
Healthy is a big one.
If they can be healthy, yes.
Which
Because they're
one?
losing a couple guys right now that are
Yeah,
getting
one
hurt.
just got injured. Some big
The
names.
Robinson guy, and he's actually
Oh,
doing
he
pretty
did.
well.
The torn ACL.
He was at Fulham, and he was actually, and they just got promoted.
And he
They
was doing
just got
so
promoted
good.
to the Premier League.
Yeah,
And he's doing
Robinson
really good.
is nasty on the field, and he
Yeah.
played well during
He's
the
doing good.
qualifying matches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're like I said, if they can just stay healthy, as
Dang,
much
with the torn
as opposed to
ACL,
everyone
will
else
he
too.
be good by November?
No,
ACL, girl.
no ACL, no, because you're talking about literally surgery, sitting out for almost.
He
what,
already had
6
surgery.
months.
Oh yeah, okay.
So how long has he had the surgery already?
Like just recently.
Like I think like a few days.
Yeah.
If he has a
Let me see.
good rehab team,
Yeah.
then possibly.
If
Oh
he's
my
got
God.
it, if
So
Cristiano
do we have to
I
pay?
know, right? Cristiano's his doctor. He's got to have a good rehab team because I've
Who
seen
do we
players.
have to pay?
I've seen players that have gone through that and come back pretty quick and done really. I've seen a lot of players that, like recently.
It just
Maybe
depends
we
on
should
the
try and get him on
team,
our podcast while he's injured.
right.
Yeah, that'd
Hey,
be
dude,
great.
Can you talk to these people?
One day ago, he had surgery.
Oh shit.
Okay, so again, if he has a good rehab
Yeah,
team and
he
can
is-
recover, there's a possibility, but it's a big risk too, especially if you take him coming off an
They
injury.
might have him travel with the team, maybe, right? And like
if he's healthy in time to at least do the games prior, because they always have like friendly games to kind of set the roster.
Yeah.
If he can do those games and perform well, then there's a good chance. But if they take him and he doesn't even play, there's a chance they might not take him.
my God, I forgot about Miles Robinson. That just killed
Yeah,
my
he just
soul.
got hurt.
I just saw
God.
it the other day
Yeah.
too, and I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, that was a big loss. That's a big
No.
It was all over the social media. I'm like, who's this guy that got injured? I was like, oh shit, it's that dude. Like, yeah.
Dang, he played really well during the qualifiers. I talked about him on my podcast. Like he stood out. And he did great plays. Like he
No,
naturally
he
stood
did
out.
well.
Damn. Okay. Not putting any more I word. I'm not gonna even say the word into the universe because nobody needs to hear that.
Right. Right.
No one needs
Oh.
to hear that.
So that's where I'm at with US. I don't know if you can tone it down just a little bit and let her know how you feel. He has to take off his glasses. This is coming from a coach's perspective. He's already getting
I mean,
red.
where can I even start this?
Keep it
Oh
funny.
no.
Jesus Christ. So the only reason why I'm like, okay, because the expectations and the quality that they have should have been far better than what was produced per se. The only reason, again, I don't have that many hope for them going into this is because of how they finished off. Yeah, they finished off, they qualified great, but you want to qualify and have that momentum going in as well, which a lot of teams sometimes can carry. Right now for them,
Are you talking about the last qualifying game?
No. Just everything leading up to
I was going to say, because I was also embarrassed.
From the beginning of qualifying all the way to basically throughout the whole qualification.
Okay.
For the quality of players that they have and the team that they were basically on paper and some of the games that they were able to perform really well, they just weren't really consistent. And that was the scary part, is you gotta have consistency, especially in the national team and especially going into the World Cup. You gotta have consistency. And if you don't have it, you lose one game there, it's a struggle to get back, especially in the World Cup. And the shock and surprise that I brought up was Canada. Like, I don't think anybody expected that from Canada. Nobody expected that from Canada. Shit. To do what they were capable of doing, not only to the US, but to Mexico also, was a massive shock. That was a massive shock. That, for me, if US did that, then I'd have way more better like support for that and this and enthusiasm for it. But they limped through against a Mexico team that was struggling just as bad, if not worse, with a team that was probably not even as strong as USA. And they actually finished above them. That's why I'm like, come on, USA. Like, really, like, you guys should have at least beaten Mexico far better. Not even that last game, they should have done way better than that.
At Azteca?
Yeah, a couple games even prior. The Canada game was shocking. I was surprised with that one both times, not just the first, both times. But again, if they can just be healthy and have a better consistency, then yes, I believe they can do well. They can produce something. But what I saw just in the qualifications alone is worrisome, just because of who they are in terms of the players and the team. I think they should be better than what they're portraying. That's just my opinion.
I think they're going to surprise us.
If they surprise us, great. I will eat my words.
They're going to surprise you, coach.
I'd be happy
to. Your little team that comes out and they're like, see, coach, we were listening to you.
You don't know shit. I'm coaching the game. Sit down.
I'm going to send this to Christian Pulisic and be like, this is what this coach is saying. Prove him wrong.
I would be happy for that, because again, it comes back to what I would like at least for them to show and produce for the country to be, be able to have that exposure in terms of the sport and being that entertainment for everyone to want to have. Because if they go into this and they lose, everyone's just going to go back saying, okay, USA, they lost, whatever.
But I'm hoping that that's what pushes them to win.
No,
but I also think their coach, I mean, you can agree as a coach.
Oh, yeah.
This coach is amazing.
Ooh.
No matter you don't like him either.
I don't know if you should have told him that.
I like him. I like his mindset of having MLS players as well as European players. Our MLS players are great. Miles Robinson is one of them.
I'll give him this. MLS has produced a little bit better than they have in the past. Mm-hmm. I still don't have the full confidence in him, but he does have a better pool of players than previous coaches have had. Because I think the game where he did just European teams, they played well. And then there was a game, I think it was against Puerto Rico, maybe. I can't remember. But there was a game where he only used MLS players. Pulisic was there, McKinney. Not a single European player was there. And they won that game, I think, like 5-0. And I'm like, okay, you played a weak team. Great. But I am happy to see that these guys actually showed up and performed, which makes it, as a coach, a good problem to have.
Yeah.
Why? Because instead of only saying, because they can only pick 22, 23 players?
23
players. When it was US, it's like you had 12 good players and the rest were just like, man, this is all we can get. Now it's like there's probably at least 50, 60 players that this guy can choose from. And I think at least 30 to maybe 40 of them are quality players. That's going across the board from MLS and Europe. So I think it's good. It's good. It's just now, what can he pick and what can he
who will he actually take?
Yeah. Who can he take and what can he display? Because that's a hard thing to do, especially when you have that amount of players, a big pool of players like that. You're going to leave someone out and it's going to be a question mark. It's going to be a question mark against him and saying, why did you leave this guy out? As opposed to why'd you pick this guy? So that's where it's going to come down to him and seeing if he can really, really be a good coach and say, this is the team I picked. This is what we're going to go with. If he does well, of course, he's going to get praised. But if he does bad, the question marks are going to come in. If he would have taken this guy, maybe you would have won. Or if you wouldn't have taken this guy, this would have happened. A lot of those, that happens across the board with anybody, with any coach and any international team. But I think here, I mean, it's his for the taking in the sense. It's up to him. If he can get the right players and again, if they can all be healthy, yeah, I could see something happening. I think he could really make a name for himself. I still haven't been too impressed with him just because, again, with qualifying, this is where his stage was. Now it's the World Cup. If he doesn't produce at the World Cup, for me, it's like that wasn't the guy for the World Cup. But if he produces, it's like, okay, great. He did something fantastic. We need to implement whatever this was and stick to it and carry that on into the coming years. Because I think that's what really goes back to what we saw with Klinsmann prior. When he was able to go pretty far with them and lose out to Belgium in overtime when they probably had a good potential to beat them and go even further if they would have won that game. But since they didn't, we at least got a glimpse and saw, okay, this is what the strategy in terms of producing the players is. Let's stick to this and keep it going. And I think what he was capable of doing and what he started obviously led to what we're at kind of now. Because even losing out and not even making it definitely changed the whole mindset and the whole system of what they were thinking and say, hey, this can no longer be. We have to change drastically. And sure enough, they did. I mean, they limped their way through to the qualifiers. Now can they go in there and really produce and really perform? And if they can, then we're on the right track. That's
all right.
How far do you think they go?
You're asking me or him? Because I feel like he has a very.
I already know his answer.
I think we make it out of the group, and I think that's a big one for us. I don't think we'll get past the next one.
Right.
I think that's what I said too. Yeah. I think that's what I said.
I think they get out of the group.
And the first round would be the tough one because I think I can't remember who they're gonna face.
I forgot to.
I think we looked it up
because we did it all that.
Yeah, we did all that. I just can't remember.
Haven't got to the bracket yet.
Yeah, we haven't got to the bracket part. But I even said, I said if they get through, they'll go second, and that's the best I'm giving them. If they lose,
I think that's the best that I will also feel like that they could do, like actually do, and I think that would be the biggest one for American soccer right now.
Yeah, that's.
And do we all feel the same about Mexico? Second place, second in the group.
Oh yeah,
right.
Yeah,
do you feel the same way, Pam?
What bracket are they in? Who are they with?
Argentina, Poland.
Argentina, Messi.
Argentina, Poland, Saudi Arabia.
Right.
Yeah, I could see second. It depends. They haven't been doing so hot.
Well, that was the thing we were saying earlier too. Yeah. That's why I was saying.
Do they have injuries? What's going on with them?
The thing with Mexico, I don't know if people notice, but they tend to take a lot of older players.
Yeah.
They don't.
You mean Ochoa?
Experience Ochoa.
They take more experienced older players, like Ochoa, HH, Guardado. They take a lot of the older experienced players, and then when they go against these younger, fast-paced players, they tend to struggle. And we saw that against them with Canada. They just skated by their teeth with USA on that second game. But that's just kind of been their MO, like for many, many years.
And at the same time, the federation kind of like runs the team. Like the federation and the media over there is like, it's the hardest thing that you can ever come across. Is like if you lose a game, it's like you lost a championship.
Yeah.
And they get it beyond crazy. And I remember that's what Araujo. What's your guy's name? Araujo. From Galaxy? Araujo. We're Hispanics here. Come on.
Araujo.
Julian. He said he had a conversation with Chicharito about being on the Mexican team and saying like if you lose, it's not even going to be the end of it. You're not going to hear the end of it. It's like the media just like vultures over there.
Yeah, it's a whole different atmosphere with that whole aspect over there.
But yeah, I mean that's that. I mean Mexico second group, right? After that they got Brazil.
Yeah, that's the group I think that we said. Brazil. Yeah.
I think it was France. It was France. They get France.
They get France.
The second team gets France in that group. So yeah, good luck to Mexico.
Or whoever wins the group from France.
Who do you have, moving on, who do you have taking it all?
Taking it all?
What's your...
Well, okay, I'm going to say Argentina because I am dying for Messi to freaking win something for Argentina here, okay?
Oh, wait, he didn't win anything? For Argentina?
He hasn't won a World Cup. I don't think he's won a title for Argentina.
Wait. Hold on.
She's MLS. She doesn't
Hold
watch everything.
on. Pam.
She doesn't watch Copa America.
Pam. Pam. You let me hear me? Pam.
Yes.
You know that Argentina won the Copa America.
When?
This last one during the pandemic.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? The pandemic was kind of like a time warp. I don't even know what happened. With
I just didn't know if you knew because I did remember hearing you say this on one of your podcasts.
No, I actually, to be completely honest, I did not know that. I didn't even know there was a Copa America during COVID.
Yeah,
There was,
because they changed.
I was locked up in my room being a good Samaritan.
Oh wow,
the Good Samaritan.
yeah, we still have COVID.
Yeah,
I haven't gotten it.
Knock on wood, right?
Knock on everything.
You haven't got the flu.
It's because I've been a good Samaritan and they said stay inside. So I said I'm going to start gaming every day.
There you go. But yes, he finally won Copa America.
Wait, that makes me so happy for Messi.
He won it very underwhelming. We had it on the podcast.
Yeah, but it was also during COVID. No one was paying attention to anything other than COVID.
We were watching the Euro Cup.
We were watching it. We've talked about is that it was underwhelming because I just don't think having fans and the way they kind of
atmosphere.
The way they went about it though with Copa America, because there was a lot of controversy, a lot of things that went on during that time, especially with COVID.
Even in Colombia, they took it out of Colombia because even like shit was going down over there was beyond COVID.
There was more like worse things going on.
Yeah.
And the way they just handled that whole situation just kind of made it unappealing to watch.
Yeah.
And then the Euros was at the same time, right?
Like intertwined. Like
it was kind of at the same time. So the Euros, I think, had more of a bit of a fan base. They had a little bit more going on. So the exposure and the entertainment, the eye catching was more towards the Euros as opposed to Copa America. Because even the teams, to be honest with you, like Argentina was winning, but it was like, okay, they won. Brazil was winning, it was like, meh, okay, they won. But it wasn't anything entertaining in the sense to say like, whoa, what a game that one was, or whoa, did you see?
But I think that was like all of COVID. Like the Dodgers won the World Series, and I still till this day think that they were wrong.
Don't get him started on baseball.
No, but I'm serious. They won the World Series, and no one could literally celebrate. No one could go to the game. Like it was COVID, so it's like it was cool. Like yay for LA, but also like
the Dodgers did not win the World Series. For anybody to ever say that they won the World Series, they did not. It doesn't count when you play only 60 games.
I was going to say because it wasn't a full season.
7,000 games that they normally play.
Who's your team?
I hate baseball.
Got it. So no matter what, you're going to hate the Dodgers winning.
I hate the Dodgers winning. I will go
the Lakers. Okay, Lakers won, and I still also feel like they were robbed just like a championship, like parade, everything. There's nothing.
Kobe stopped playing. He passed away. I don't care about basketball anymore. That's literally what I stopped.
I'm at a point where American sports, to me, are redundant.
Okay, that's fair. What I'm trying to get at is during COVID, sporting events were just not as fun to watch. No one was there.
We tried to watch. Like we even tried to watch the Copa America, and it was under.
It just not having the fans there yelling. It's like.
Yeah.
The basketball tried it. They had like audio with fans, and it was
so
weird.
So did MLS. MLS had recording.
I heard that one. When they did go back on there, I think they were playing in Florida. I think that's when they did their whole little thing.
The bubble?
Yeah, the bubble, whatever. I watched a little bit of it. It was it was here and there.
Yeah.
Same thing. Baseball tried it. I think they did it like they tried to play all in Texas or something. And then basketball, the same thing. They did it in Florida. It was here and there. I think MLS at that time for me was actually a little bit more entertaining, just in the fact that for me, I actually enjoyed it a little bit more, and I told people to actually watch it more because you actually got to hear the players.
Oh, that's right.
I liked it.
You're right.
So as opposed to like basketball, baseball, you don't really hear players communicate, whatever. But with soccer, you heard, like, if you actually watched it when it was like before they started adding the audio of the fans and actually can hear the players, it was very entertaining for me.
And the coaches, right?
Yeah, I actually loved it a lot more.
I remember
watching
we
the
talked
MLS one too, because you can hear the players, you can hear the communication, you can hear how they communicate, how they talk, how they interact. And it was a lot more entertaining for me. And I told even my players, I said, watch these games. Like, these are the best times to watch it right now. Because the fans are not there, but as a player, now you can see exactly how a player portrays himself and exactly what it takes and how they play.
They say,
Yeah, and what they say and how you can contribute that to your own game. So yeah, I liked it a lot more during that time, at least for that part in that moment, because
that makes sense.
You don't see that. You don't see that often. You don't hear it either. Even if you go to the games, you hardly hear that.
Yeah,
that's true.
That's true. So you got Argentina. You have Argentina winning it all.
I would like them to win. I would.
That's what you would like, or that's what you believe?
A little bit of both. Okay, Argentina has always done well, but they didn't do well the last World Cup at all. They were out early.
How come? They had Messi.
They lost to France, didn't they?
Sometimes
what?
They lost to France.
Things happen in sports that don't make sense.
You're absolutely right. I have no clue how this guy is amazing.
That was the time that I was like, I'm just confused what happened.
Exactly, right? Yeah, the quote unquote the best ever.
They played probably one of the best games in the tournament. They lost 4-3 to France. I mean, come on.
And France is always going to be a powerhouse. You know?
That was a very great game. I give France some credit to beat Argentina to get that far.
Yeah.
As opposed to Portugal losing to who did they lose to?
Huh?
Who did Portugal lose to?
In what?
In the World Cup?
Uruguay.
Exactly.
But again, the way you portray this guy.
But it's Uruguay.
But you portray this guy.
But it's
Messi.
But Messi lost to the
I'm going to go for Argentina. Do I think I might be disappointed? Yes. But would I like to see Argentina win the World Cup? Messi's getting older, okay? I want to see him win a World Cup for Argentina before he retires, okay? That's all I would like. That's it. And I would, honestly, for the rest of my life, I'll probably root for so many other teams now because I'd be like, Messi won the World Cup. It's fine. Who would you guys like to see?
So the way you feel about Messi is the exact same way I feel about Cristiano.
Okay.
I think Cristiano deserves it a lot more because the human in him and how
nobody cares.
Play a little baby violin for him.
Okay. Fine,
I'm just kidding. Keep going. Yes.
I'll leave it at that. No, it's the same feeling. I just think the way his whole career and how I followed it, he deserves it. He finally has all the players and all the weapons that he needs. And the last thing that I told my brother, hold on, let me say this really. The last thing I told him on the podcast is like, if Cristiano realizes that he can be a little bit more a facilitator and kind of not be Ronaldo, meaning like not be like, hey, give me the ball, I want to score everything. The last couple of games in the playoffs that he had, to me personally, was phenomenal. He used his supporting cast. He actually did. And I told him if he plays that way throughout the World Cup, all he needs is a goal in the final, and he's the best thing that ever happened to the sport.
Okay, that's so you want Portugal.
That's all I need. But to who I think can win it, I don't know. I think it's up in the air for me personally because all these European teams are able to be beat. France didn't do well in the Euro Cup. Portugal didn't either. Belgium is always always ranked one in the world, but yet they can't win shit.
Not anymore.
No, they still are.
No, it's Brazil now.
No, there's last time I saw it.
No, it's Brazil.
Okay. And then Brazil, you have Neymar playing whenever he wants.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So again, I think it's up in the air. Yeah, Argentina has a streak right now, but we all saw what happened to Italy after they had the amazing run and that streak, and then they won a title.
Yeah, now they're not even in the World Cup.
Exactly. So again, I don't really. For me, it's up in the air. I obviously just want it to be Portugal for my reasons, but again, I can't pick who actually can take it.
Did we do that?
We haven't got there.
We haven't gotten to that
because we didn't do the bracket, but
but I figured that was going to be your pick regardless.
Right, same. But I don't have it.
If I go back, my pick I think still would be the same, but to now,
which I don't think you said it right. Or
we haven't talked about it,
which is fine.
But as much as I would like Brazil to win, I don't see them winning because they're doing good. They're kind of getting there, but I don't see them enough to be like, whoa, this is a team to beat. The surprise for me, and I would be shocked if they obviously win it and get that far, but I would like for them to win. It would be Spain.
Oh,
Spain right now has been such an
one of my dogs in the fight.
There you go.
They're a very under radar team. They did really well in the Euros. They did really well in the Nations League right now. They're doing pretty consistently throughout their games. They have probably one of the best well-rounded teams right now. And if they're a team that can be healthy also, I think is a I want to say it's a dark horse team, but I think they're a very under radar team that nobody's really expecting much of them. But if you really watch them, they're really good. They're playing really, really well right now. So
the young players are legit.
yeah. So that would be my pick. And I think there's a possibility in terms of their group and their poly path. Will they win it all? I would like them to win it all. But we'll see what happens.
I mean, listen, I wouldn't be mad. That's also my culture. Shout out to my mom.
Yeah.
Thank you so much so far. Like I said, we just talk. We talk soccer and we just lose track of time. So let's move forward. Let's go quicker with this one. Champions League. Your prediction.
Chelsea.
No. Wait. Champions League final.
Who's in the Champions League?
It's the
I
final.
forgot MLS.
Yeah. It's Liverpool and Real Madrid. That's
Liverpool and Real Madrid.
Yeah, that's the final.
Madrid.
Spain. Okay, yeah, Spain. Yeah.
I
don't
told
like
you I'm
either team.
Spanish,
Yeah.
but I also I do
picking the refs.
root for Madrid.
I'm picking the refs. I'm hoping the refs are Danish.
I know. Okay, real quick. You don't have to take too long. It's just a simple. I know you were into MLS a lot. Do you care for the other leagues? Do you have like other teams that you're like Madrid, or like do you follow hard?
Yes, I don't follow, but like I represent. Like I root for PSG. I think they have a lot of players that I will always follow. So I actually like PSG. I like Chelsea, and I like Madrid.
Messi, Pulisic, Messi,
Madrid.
Madrid.
Spain. She's Spanish.
Sergio Ramos. I also like Sergio Ramos.
I'm trying to think who she would like in Madrid.
Who do you like in Madrid?
Well, I liked Messi,
No.
but I'm also Spanish, and my family's from Madrid.
Oh, that's a given. But
Okay.
yeah, okay. So she's going for Madrid.
Okay.
Same as me. I think they're gonna do it.
All right, got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he has.
I'm going for the refs. I hate Liverpool and I hate Madrid.
Oh, that's right.
I can't like
He's
either
a-
team.
He's a Barca and United fan.
Yeah.
Ah.
So I hate both teams that are in this final. I would
it.
probably lean towards Liverpool just because I'm a Premier League fan, and I hate Madrid because I'm a really passionate Barca fan, and my philosophy of coaching comes from Barcelona.
Okay.
So
Respect.
I would go probably Liverpool.
At least you know what the Champions League is.
How do you not like? Okay, come on. Do we need to like? Do I need to like? Hey, Pam, this is Champions League. This is the
It's
biggest
so
tournament
sad.
of all-
Like I love soccer with so much passion in my soul, but I don't. There's even certain things where I'm like, wait, what? What's it? Who's in that again? Oh, and then you explain it to me, and I'm like, oh, duh.
But you know what's interesting though is that we need more people like you like that here, because the way you are with MLS and everything here is how everyone in Spain and Europe is like
Right.
that about us. Like
That's
if
the opposite.
if somebody over there was like, "Hey, who do you got for the MLS final?" and they're like, "What? What are you talking about?"
There's very few of them.
There's very few over there that would be like that. So I don't, criticize you in the sense of that. It's like, it's great. Like that's what needs to happen here. The way you are here about MLS is what needs to happen here
and it will.
throughout, like
will.
kind of throughout here, at least for people to be like really honed in and entertained by this league. Because I'm sure if I talk to somebody about MLS that, doesn't really that only pays attention outside of like, the realm of MLS, they'd be like, why would I pay attention to MLS? They would be like, I more care about the Champions League, that kind of deal. So it's
I'm
great,
the opposite. I'm like, wait, who's in the Champions League?
which is great. Honestly, I like that. That's great that you're like that, because again, that's what needs to be here. That idea of the sport should start at least that way here for it to kind of really pick up in terms of the league and that sport and the sport in general here.
I'm
And
with you.
you're and you're doing such a great job. Like I said, I randomly came across your Instagram, and again, I didn't have to ask you. I found your podcast. I started listening. I was like, wow, like he just said, like you have that going so well that it's like, look, this girl, she knows what she's doing with the MLS. Like the information and your research and everything. I'm like, wow, like, yeah, it draws me in. Like it makes me want to listen because, you know your shit. I believe you do. And again, just by watching at least, I think about like 4 podcasts, and it was just cool. Like, that's why I was like, I hope we can have her on. And we did.
I go
And
live
we
tomorrow,
appreciate
5
it.
o'clock.
There you go. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna watch. I mean, I have been.
I'll be
so.
working.
He'll
You
be
can say
working.
something in the chat, and I'll be like, "Oh my gosh!"
I'll be like, "Hey, Champions League. Okay, bye."
You can use the call-in feature. You could literally call in like a radio, and I'll answer
No,
like, "Hello."
why would you guys
Yeah.
still do that? There has to be weirdos. Come on.
Oh, no, I've been lucky. I've had
Oh
like
my
genuine
God.
fans.
I'm over here thinking of what's his name. Shit, I just went blank. What's his name from the movie, The Adam Project? What's his name? Ryan Reynolds.
Ryan Reynolds.
When I think of the switch up,
Oh,
he's like he just says something random over the intercom. I'm sorry, there's just something funny, but yeah. Again, before we get to the fun stuff, we picked Champions League. Thank you again for being on. We appreciate you. I appreciate what you do for your podcast and the MLS and just soccer in general. We didn't get too much to like the women's side, but I understand you're driven to the men's side, which is fine. I'm sure we'll have you on again. I don't know when, but eventually.
I would love to join you guys
Which I
again.
appreciate you. Again, I want to say honestly, this is one of the funnest podcasts we've had. And again, like I said, we just talk soccer and literally lost track of time. And that's amazing. That's what we do, and we just enjoy it so much, right?
Yep.
That we're gonna end it on a fun note. We're gonna do this rapid fire questioning. So we're just gonna have fun.
I already
with it.
failed
It's
by
gonna
not
be-
knowing the Champions League.
It's gonna be about. It's literally these questions are gonna be about anything. It's
These
gonna be
are the most
so
random.
random.
things.
They're gonna be
Okay.
rapid.
Let's
I have
do
a few. I have a few of my own different questions, but he's gonna start it off. Right? Or do you want?
Oh no, I'll start it off. Just first thing that pops in your head. First thing, and just
Rapid
go with it.
fire.
All right, ready?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Texting or talking?
What?
Texting or talking?
Talking.
Favorite day of the week?
Monday.
Favorite city in the U.S. besides the one that you live in?
Charleston.
Nickname your parents used to call you?
Cholita.
Good. Damn, Chola.
The last song you've listened to?
Oh, I don't know. I think
Hootie
it
and
was
the
it
Blowfish.
was a Piso 21 song, but I can't remember the name.
Would you rather be able to speak every language in the world or be able to talk to animals?
Speak every language in the world.
Favorite holiday?
Thanksgiving.
How long does it take you to get ready?
Over an hour sometimes.
Oh.
Invisibility or super strength?
Invisibility.
Favorite Disney princess?
Snow White.
Your first celebrity crush?
Seth Green.
Seth Green?
Seth Green? Hold on. Seth Green? The short guy?
Yes.
The orange-haired short guy?
Okay, I'll take it.
Wow, all right.
That's an interesting one.
That's a first.
Yeah. If you could travel back, if you could travel back in time, what period would you go to?
Ooh, I don't know. I would go back to the 20s, the roaring 20s.
Roaring
Okay.
20s. Great guys.
Place you most want to travel to. It could be anywhere.
South Africa, Cape Town.
Nice. Favorite junk food.
Pizza.
Favorite childhood TV show.
Sailor Moon.
Sailor Moon. Favorite ice cream flavor.
Favorite what?
Favorite ice cream flavor.
Ew, anything with marshmallow. So like Rocky Road, s'mores. If it has marshmallow, I'll order it.
Nice. And I think I'm trying to see which other ones that were good.
The one that you always say.
Which is the one that I always say?
That guy over there. Who's that guy?
Oh, do you respect Kanye West? Yes.
I am indifferent. I don't care for the guy, but I don't hate the guy.
Not bad.
Okay.
No.
I'm trying to remember the other one. So I already did the city one. I think
Do you
I'm
want me to do mine?
I think I'm good with what I was kind of gonna get at.
Can I do
'Cause,
mine?
Yeah, that's kind of it for me there. So yeah. we're good.
Okay.
Thank
So
you.
I have.
I was really nervous. I feel like I killed it.
You did great. I
You
just
did
have.
fantastic.
Mine is a little different. It's not as rapid. It's just a little deep. So you have to give me 2 people that you admire the most. It can be celebrities.
It can't be family.
It just can't be family because it just just
Can't be family.
let's go with like celebrity or footballers or just people that you admire the most and you look up to, and you're just like, oh, like, you know, like I said, I'm a Cristiano fan and I'm a huge Kanye fan, like something like that. Like who are your 2 most people that are up there for you?
Shoot. Celebrities I look up to?
Or just in general, they're not family. Like it's just people that you admire the most that we would kind of know who they are, or just like somebody's just not family.
Okay, I would say one of them would be, could they be deceased?
Yeah.
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 Let me. Yeah. Are they like
yes.
like a yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. I have to think. I don't know, because the truth is, I admire a lot of people like that are like my family, or like just like figures in my life. But people I look up to. I think that Oprah Winfrey is like very inspiring. I don't like follow her, and I'm like not like but I've heard like some of her like podcasts. I've listened to some things that she has said, and I think that she has a lot of valuable things to share. I like Brene Brown. I think she does like TED Talks. She also has like her own platform. I like a lot of the things that she says as well. She talks about like just overcoming like difficulties in life. And I think there's a lot of value in that. People don't like to talk about difficulties in life. And I think it's very valuable to share that kind of knowledge because everyone goes through hard times. And then another person that I think has been like an influential person would be Martin Luther King Jr. because he stood up for something that he believed in. And no matter how many times he was beat down and ended up dying, he stood up for what he believed in, and he wanted people to just be respected. And as somebody who is Hispanic, I know that it's not always easy when you're not blonde haired and blue eyes. So I think that what he did was incredible, and I think it allowed people to truly see each other for who they are.
I like her picks.
Right?
It makes it more interesting.
It does now.
I like her picks.
I mean, she gave me good reasons too.
You guys stumped me with that one. I don't really follow celebrities.
Well, I mean, I didn't mean like
Well,
had to be celebrities.
it has
Just
to be
the
like-
people that you said are fine. Like
Yeah.
they're admired, but I mean, there are deceased. I guess I was going for again. I just look up to certain people that I guess I see all the time, constantly that are out there right now. Like, you know, just like it could have been just. I just say celebrity because again, they're just on the media. You see them. You know what I mean? But I mean, your picks are fine. I think I'm gonna go with Oprah and Martin Luther King. Okay.
Okay.
So you're on this canoe, right?
What?
You're on a canoe.
I'm on a canoe.
Okay. And in this canoe, you're like drifting in the middle of the ocean.
I'm drifting into the ocean in a canoe by myself.
Yes. And in that canoe, there's one space open. And then on one side you see MLK, on the other side you see Oprah. Who do you pick up?
Who do I pick up?
Yeah, to go on that
Yes.
canoe. And it's only one per there you go.
We've done this with
We've
everyone.
done this with every
We've done it with
person on the
everybody.
podcast. And that's why I ask people to pick the people that you admire the most.
Martin Luther King Jr.
Dang. Wow. That was quick.
His life was cut short, and I think it would have been amazing to see what his life could have become. And Oprah, as we've seen what it's become, she's one of the richest people in the world, but I would have liked to have seen where he could have gone.
I like that.
I like it. Honestly, because everybody we've gotten before, like we said, because we say celebrities, a lot of people kind of go into like how we just said, like what's going on right now with media and who's the face right now in media per se. But yeah, your picks, I really enjoyed.
Yeah,
it.
that's
deep
good for me.
Yeah,
I like it.
yeah,
I
I
like it.
like it. That was
Honestly, I liked it. You know, because I didn't want to pick family because someone picked family. I was like, oh no, I feel
Yeah,
bad.
it changed
Oh,
everything.
because the canoe. I would have jumped overboard. I feel like they can take the canoe.
right.
They can take my spot.
Yeah, take my
Yeah, so
canoe
like
and
I
fly.
remember one of the footballers. I said something and I was just like, oh wait, never mind. Let me change that. Do
Yeah.
somebody else.
So we
Yeah.
changed it.
Because again,
instead.
there's a few people that got deep with this for that question. So I just had to specifically make sure it was like something more like, oh, I can answer some of these questions, you know? So yeah, that was mine. That was one of my ending questions. But let me give you a little bit more, just quicker ones, right?
Okay.
Since you're out here, you're from Argentina, and some like Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Coffee. Drake or Kanye?
Drink.
Bad Bunny or J Balvin?
Bad Bunny.
Winter or summer?
Summer.
That's what I forgot.
Right?
Yeah, the fall. What season? That's what I missed. Yeah, go ahead. Okay.
I think that's it.
Yeah, I think
that was just mine that I had all the time. My biggest one was the biggest one is Cristiano or Messi, but I know your answer.
Oh, Messi.
That one's winning.
Sure.
Oh, is it?
Sure.
Yeah.
He's got a bunch of
we've asked everyone we bring on, we asked that question, and I think it's winning by 1 right now. I want to say
wow.
Yeah.
You know, you got to respect the man.
Yeah, we don't have another extra hour for me to change your mind, but I'll leave it at that because Pam, we appreciate you. Thank you so much. Again, I wasn't.
Thanks for having me on, you guys.
Yeah, no, thank you for your time. Again, we weren't expecting this long. Like I said earlier, it's up to you. And again, we all love the sport, and it's amazing how we can just speak on it and go from there and just have different ideas and just different perspectives. I love it. I love what you do. I enjoy what you do. Keep at it. Again, I appreciate you. And again, thanks so much.
Thank you guys for having me on. I had an absolute blast. I mean that. One, I truly am so passionate about the sport, and I love meeting like-minded people that just want to see it continue to grow across the world, not just here in America. I want everyone to start being like, I know exactly what the Champions League is, and I know exactly what MLS
is. That's dope. Awesome. Anything you want to say?
Well, thanks for having me on, guys. I really had a good time.
Yeah, thank you again. We appreciate you taking the time. We started this year, like we said, during the pandemic, and a lot of it was just based off of what we do almost every day, which is we literally just talk like this. Yeah. Like me and him just literally talk like this. I mean,
dang, I wish my sisters would talk to me about soccer. Fuck.
And it's funny because it's like we were looking at podcasts to do that, what people do. I'm like, man, we can do that. Yeah. It's like we can do soccer wise, because anytime we watch a game, we watch the game, and like even with my dad or our dad, after the game, we're talking like for another like couple of hours, like not just about the game, but just like a lot of other soccer stuff. Yeah. And it just like, man, I was like, that could have been the podcast right there. Yeah. Like we said that like prior to it, and then we just started doing it, and it's become what it is now. And it's, I mean,
I hope it continues to grow, because I think there's literally like no soccer podcasts out there. I mean, there's a handful, but
we've checked, and there's not very many out there.
There is
the
dynamic. Sorry, cut you off. The dynamic of it that I've seen and come across, it's like it still feels like the news.
Yeah,
like all statistic based.
Yeah. Like that, and like again, I no disrespect to the ones that have a production team and a network. Like I get that realm and that side of it, but we just wanted to talk the way we want to talk, because again, that's what I think we probably are saying, is that we haven't seen a podcast where you just literally have the conversation, because some people want to like, you know, say some way, or they're just closed minded. It's like, no, my team is better. And this is like, okay, well, dude, like, I mean, open up my mind. Let me see what else I can think of, you know? And again, I think talking to you more about the MLS and having your perspective does help me in a sense of like, yeah, okay, look, this sport, this MLS is not going to go anywhere. Like it's not leaving. And as much as we felt the way we felt in the beginning, how we started off when we were kids and then it left somehow, we left watching it and like came back again. It gives me just hope for my youngest brother to hopefully one day be there, where I can be like, look, I'm sitting in this stadium watching my brother play this on this league, you know? So yeah, no, having the conversation does open up those thoughts and ideas for me, for sure. And I appreciate you for that.
Oh, good. I'm glad I could help.
So sweet. Just to end it off, just let people know where they can find you and everything and all your social medias.
Yeah, of course. So I am Pam Bam going ham across the board. You can find me on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram, and YouTube as well. I have my own podcast called Pam on the Pitch. You can find that on Bullhorn FM, or you can also find that on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or Amazon Podcasts as well. So hopefully you guys check me out.
Sweet.
Awesome.
And we're good.
I'm good. Thank you again so
Thanks,
much.
Yeah,
really,
of course.
really
Thanks for having me,
appreciate
you
it.
guys. It's been a fun few hours.
Thanks for
Thank
being on
you.
here. Thanks for taking the time.
Of course.
I wish you the best and everything that you're doing and that it keeps going and it goes great. And hopefully we run into you at a Galaxy game.
Yeah.
Dude, that would be
We're definitely staying in touch again. We appreciate you.
Yeah, definitely. All right, you guys
Awesome.
take care. Have a good night. Thanks for
Likewise.
having me.
Thank you again.
Bye.
Bye.
See you.